guessing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We in this thing, Sports Coma, representing the fam. Friday night, we up in this thing. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the live. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's happening, fam? Appreciate y'all being in the live. Friday. Happy Friday to you all. Hope you guys had a pretty eventful but yet productive week. Hope you got a lot of stuff done, period, and out the way. And I hope you guys are going to have a fantastic weekend, man. All right, big ups to the fam. Appreciate each and every last one of you. Black Major OG Jerry is in this thing as well. Roll, big ups to you. Good to see you, fam. Young City 9 in this thing. Big ups to everybody. Bronze, I see you, fam. Brother Tory's in this thing. Big ups to my brother Tory. Quavadius, brother Bronze. Jack is in this thing as well. Good to see all y'all in the building. As we kind of do a little recapping of what happened in day 8 for the black and gold in this thing, as Brian Brissy returned. That was good news. Kendre Miller still out. Nick Saldiveri still out. Lattimore still out. Demario Davis and is out, among others. And we had some additions. Now, we did get Marquez Callaway. He did come back to the fold. We covered that on the last stream. And then the Saints turn around and signed another wide receiver today to help bolster the lineup here. Man, helping out there. And shout out to Nail Carpenter over at the WhoThatDaily.com. Saints bolster the wide receiver core while releasing Nate Peterman. So Peterman is in the street. Saints used the big pair of scissors and cut Peterman off, man. Real lickety split to bring in another wide receiver. And of course, this was announced by the Saints as Mickey Loomis announced that the signing of Samson. I hope I'm saying this man's name right. Nacua. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm gonna just say SN until I get it together. But Nathan Peterman was Nacua. I hope I'm saying that right, man. But that's Puka's brother that they signed here. I was looking up film on him. He's a tall target there, but he's 6'3", about 206 pounds. Is the older brother of Puka from the Rams, and I was looking at some film from him as well, and not as talented as Puka, but we'll see what he can do, man. We'll see what he can do. Maybe he got some of those playmaking abilities as well. He was drafted by the Colts, or picked up by the Colts, undrafted rather, in 2023, played in 2 games for the USFL's Pittsburgh Maulers, had 11 catches for 125, and then playing for the USFL's Michigan Panthers. So in 2024, so his college career from Utah from 2016 to 2020, seen him play in 45 games with 8 starts. And of course, he adds to the Saints wide receiver room. Marquez Callaway was brought in. You still have Cedric Wilson, who's dealing with a groin issue. Equimius St. Brown dealing with a hamstring. Bub Means has a shin issue. So the Saints guys are pretty banged up. As you can see, this is the Saints wide receiver depth chart as it stands. You see A.T. Perry, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed on the top. Then the rest of everybody else, Equimius, Cedric, Bub. You see Marquez Callaway there, Stanley Morgan, Mason Tipton is doing all right. Kevin Austin Jr. and Jermaine Jackson, who's also banged up. So Saints, that's one of the things that we do recognize and realize, man, that the Saints, and when you're going through training camp, man, it's very interesting, but yet and still the Saints have, you're going to get nicked up a little bit. So we got some issues, some injury issues like most teams have, man. And then, a couple of the real big ones, man, like Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore. Just have to keep an eye out on those guys because those are the impactful starters. We don't need any issues with those guys, right? And, of course, as we transition to some of the other news, notes, and items here, fam, for day 8 of training camp for the black and gold here. And a recap there just to kind of look at some of the things like we talked about, some of these guys that were out, Cedric Wilson, groin, St. Brown with the hamstring, Bub Means with the shin, Demario with the hamstring, Nick Seldaveri with the calf, Trajan Jeffcoat with the elbow. And that was a pretty nasty one with Jeffcoat. Hope he's all right. We're not out there, as well as the new absence with rookie Jalen Ford. Jermaine Jackson left practice the day early with a lower right leg injury, which appeared to be hamstring related. Brian Bursey returned to practice, but did not participate in the drills. Shane Lemieux was working off to the side with a trainer with his helmet, as well as Juwan Johnson. Johnson's doing a bit more jogging, has been trending in the right direction. The Saints offense will benefit a lot when he does get back into the lineup. Marshawn Lattimore is dealing with that hip flexor, and Kendre Miller also has a hamstring. We're both observers of at practice, but it was more in the early stages of walkthroughs and drills. So we talked about Puka's brother Samson being brought here, as the Saints did pick up Puka. Brother Samson today, and Callaway yesterday releasing Tommy Hudson was waived and injured, and also putting QB Nate Peterman in the street. So it kind of solves a lot of our questions about, I don't think it was really too much of a question when we was talking about Nathan Peterman being there after the team picked up on Spencer. It was just, you got your 3 quarterbacks, so ain't no really, and we knew he was a long shot anyway to make, especially how Jake Hayner's been playing at practice and doing his thing. So shout out to my guy, Kyle T. Mosley and John Hendricks, man, always doing the good work for us to let us know what time it is, what's going on there. And these some of the numbers that they recorded here at the Saints training camp. Derek Carr, 9 of 15. Spencer Rattler, 7 of 10 for a touchdown today. Hayner went 9 for 11 with 2 touchdowns in the day. So not bad at all for the black and gold, as they did what they usually do, offensively speaking. So anyway, kind of getting to the lanyard, because that's what I like to kind of talk about. I know y'all probably know about all the other stuff that happened today in terms of at camp, but I think some of the best stuff is the one-on-one highlights that we've come accustomed to loving so much. And we love seeing that. Like we've been seeing the matchup between Alante Taylor, what he's been doing there as well, his little one-on-one situation, what he got going on there. And and A.T. Perry made a couple of plays as well in camp. So, you've seen A.T. Perry working against Kool-Aid McKinstry and making some few plays there. So it's been positive there as well. But like I said, man, the Saints just have to keep it twisting and turning, moving and grooving, baby. And that's how it is. So, like I said, it's a few things right here. You can see right here, A.T. Perry and Kool-Aid McKinstry going at it with a little rep right here. Kool-Aid's on him, but he breaks it down, then goes toward the sideline there with a good catch. And A.T. Perry need to make more of these catches, man, to kind of help his chances of improving, because a lot of people looking at him and saying, hey, man, we need A.T. Perry to step the hell up, show up, and do what he needs to do to kind of make it pop and stick for himself. A lot of people kind of pushing on him to do something, man. It's his time. Cedric Wilson's down, man. St. Brown's down. It's time. He needs to show what he can do. He's going to get a lot of reps. Lanyap, the officials were at practice and will be there Sunday. Ryan Tolbert's crew, Dennis Allen, said he wants them to call things pretty tight. And while they're here, the Saints were holding some trials prior to practice where it appeared to be for the tight end room. We'll see if anything comes out of it. Kendre Miller really needs to get back on the field. It's becoming evident that Jordan Mims is playing well and threatening for a spot right now. Thought Jake Hayner, Spencer Rattler, Dallin Hawker, and Anthony Orji had solid practices. This might have been Hayner's best. Allen on Jari Evans going into the Ring of Honor. Shout out to Jari Evans too, man. He said people don't understand how good of a guard he really was. They really sleeping on how really good. Well, y'all know how good Jari Evans was, man. He was a real solid guard. Jake Hayner is going to have a procedure on his face for skin cancer on Monday. Allen expectation that he'll be back by Wednesday, so prayers for him. Allen praised Delonte Taylor, saying that he leaps and bounds better than where he was last year, and that he's embraced the slot role, the best thing has seen from Taylor. And we'll play Dennis Allen's interview in a little bit. He says, is a want to and willingness to do the job we're wanting him to do, which is good because the reality is we knew that that was going to happen. I said that because most players, they suffer with that sophomore jinx. That's a real thing. And it's usually a little difficulty there, but you watch how the player responds after the second season. Coming out of it. Now, what I was saying that about Alontae Taylor this past season, coming into this season, is the same way I was saying it about Paulson and Debo when they were saying the same damn thing. I don't know if some people just stuck in a time warp or they get caught in a loop. I don't know. It's weird because it's like they placed this template on a player and it's the same damn thing from the previous year. Like, we know Paulson and Debo was a solid rookie. Obviously, he went through a sophomore slump a bit, came out of it, looked stellar. Alontae Taylor going to do the same thing. They didn't miss on Alontae. Wide receivers were using rugby balls during drills, something that Brother Ross talked about. Honed in on the defense more today, and it's hard to not notice how much power Chase Young has in his drills. Everything I've been told from inside the building is all positive, and he's really impressed a lot of people. All Chase had to be was healthy. That's the big thing. And like I said, if he's healthy, 100% healthy, and can play this entire season, that'll be the best, probably the best free agent transaction the Saints have had all year long. Now you can probably see how Willie does in there, but Chase Young, he's a major league impact to the Saints defense. If he's healthy, that means a lot. It really does. We talking playmaking, high playmaking ability. I mean, health was the thing that was stopping him. And between two teams last year, he had 7.5 sacks. What, Curl had, 8.5? I mean, 8-something sacks last year. So he wasn't that far for Curl Granderson. So if he turns it around, man, and the Saints put the right rotation with Chase Young, man, that could be a very special move the Saints pulled off there. So, okay, anyway, so let's keep it moving. Allen says pretty good tone. So with the walkthroughs, linebacker, secondary defense needs to know all the routes when they go through these, especially when they run through to simulate the offense. He made it a point to call some players out. Charlie Smith, the backup kicker, finished 3 or 4 in each frame. 22 of 27 on camp. He's 30. He made the extra points, and he's doing okay. Matt Highball, the backup punter, punted pretty good today. Had some really high hang times as well with the football and the kick returners, which is something that we all want to pay attention to because we'll be watching the special teams as well. I know the offense will be getting a lot of attention, and because it's supposed to. It's a lot of money over there. In the defense, we know what the defense has been doing over the last couple of years. They had some slippage last year from the Saints defense in terms of stopping the run. We allow 119 yards per contest or something as the numbers added up in a year. So we kind of broke down interiorly speaking. We got to clean a lot of that up and moving forward. But the special teams is something that we also have to pay attention to. And I think we'll be all right. But we still need to figure out who our return men are going to be. And we still got some time to kind of work on that. Kick returners were Rashid Shaheed, Jermaine Jackson until he got hurt, Taysom Hill, Alontae Taylor, Hugo Amadi, Rashid Shaheed, Marquez Callaway, Mason Tipton, and Chris Olave all fielded punts. Now, we know with the shortage of wide receivers, that's why they were using some of our starters, but we damn sure don't want to see too much of Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed or any of our mainstay wide receivers or starters in positions in that role because it's a dangerous position. We need to find somebody that can do the job and do it well. All right, so Saints will be back on the field Saturday with another padded practice, and we'll talk about it tomorrow as well. We'll be here on Saturday doing the Saturday stream. So that's some of the stuff to talk about at training camp as we get ready to keep it moving and grooving. We're going to move on to the reaction stream. We're going to get ready to kind of hear from Dennis Allen. I need a couple of my family members to be counters. And and how it goes, and well look. Yeah, the well look counter. That's what we're going to call it, the well look counter. So we need some well look counters for DA, man. Anyway, big ups to the rest of y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being in here as well. Much love to everybody, man. Y'all hit the like button upon entry. Give me a who dat, and I give you a who dat back. Brother Byron, Brother Jarrell, Gundam. What's up, Brother Gundam? How you doing? Sir Bullet Family Travel Vlog is in this thing as well. Good to see you. Big ups to you. Much love to all the queens as well, man. Much love. Brother Avis is in this thing. Be kind. Not yet. They got a contract on according to a report that was released. There's a contract offer on the table for Alvin Kamara. We haven't heard anything about it, and I'm pretty sure by that time that the contract was offered to Alvin Kamara, and I'm pretty sure the agent had already sent back a reply. Now at least they're talking. Because prior to that, Alvin Kamara said he hadn't heard anything. You know, that's a different energy there. So we'll see how it all turns as we keep it going, man. But that's something to watch out for. Louisiana, man, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Big ups to you guys. All right. And Brother Patrick, how you doing, sir? Big ups to you. Good to see you, man. K-Man in the building as well. Well, look, huh? Yeah. Or huh? Or well... Well, look, what is it? He says two things. He says, well, look, and he says a lot of not huh, but yeah, he kind of says a lot of that, but you know how that goes. All right, so big ups to the fam. All right, anyway, let's get it going. Here go DA, man.
Got some red zone work in. It was a good physical practice, a long practice. It was a little bit warmer today maybe than it's been a couple of the other days. But I thought we got some real good work done on both sides of the ball. We got some good stuff done in the kicking game. So go ahead.
Advantageous having the refs out here.
Yeah. Look, this was the first day to have them out here, and and I told them anything that they would call in a regular season game, I want to see the yellow on the film. So I wanted them to throw the flag as many times as they felt like there was a foul that occurred. It's the only way that we get an opportunity to coach our guys. So, you get out here and there's no officiating, and you're still trying to coach up those things, and yet, I don't know that the full impact of it really, takes place until all of a sudden they start seeing these yellow hankies on the field, and they start to realize how that's hurting the football team. And so, it was good to have those guys out here, and they'll be out here for the next couple of days. I think they're out here Saturday and Sunday. So we'll take full advantage of utilizing that to help, educate our players and get better in that way.
Dallin Holker, the tight end. What have you seen out of him? Seems like he had a bunch of plays today. How would you describe him, as a rookie?
Yeah, I think, again, as a young, undrafted, free agent player, a guy that we liked coming out in the draft process. A guy that we thought could, kind of do some multiple things. I think he's probably a little further along as a receiving tight end than he is as a blocking tight end. And so I'd say that's an area that he's got to continue to work on and improve. What I do see and feel is, kind of a smart, savvy football player that, although he may not have an elite skill set necessarily, he's got football awareness and football intelligence, and that allows him to find soft spots and zones and things of that nature. He's really good when the picture changes. So, for a young guy, to be advanced in that way from a football intelligence standpoint, I think is pretty impressive.
How have you seen Alonzo Alante continuing to develop? Do you think they'll want that challenge?
Look, I think the number one thing I've seen out of Alante is a want to and a willingness to do the job that we're asking him to do. And I think, that's one of those things where, look, there's a lot of noise outside the building as to, should you be a slot corner or an outside corner? What's a slot corner get paid? What's an outside corner get paid? Blah, 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 all this BS. And it's like, look, just go and make plays, and if you do that, everything kind of takes care of itself. And so I think that's something that he's really embraced this season. He's embraced that role as the slot corner. There's still some things that he's got to improve on. But if you just said, what we're practice number 8 into training camp and where we're at now in practice number 8 compared to where we were last year at practice number 8, I think he's leaps and bounds ahead of where he was last year. And look, I see a guy that's, highly competitive and wants to, take that next step and be an elite, not an elite slot corner, not an elite outside corner, but an elite player in our league. And I think the thing I've been most impressed with is his mindset.
Now that you do have a handful of practice.
Who's saying that, Alante Taylor? I haven't heard that before. Did you guys hear any of what he was talking about? The BS talking about whether he's this, that, and the third, or how much you get paid to be out? I never heard that before. That's news to me. The people saying, well, you need to be. No, that's not the word for a guy in his third year. What was Alante, a second round pick? I haven't heard that before. I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. I never heard that shit before. And I heard a lot of rumors. But I've never heard the rumor of him talking about somebody arguing, debating whether or not he should be a outside boundary cornerback versus a guy playing a slot because it makes more money. I've never heard that before. That was a new one to me. K-Man says, he said, yes, you heard it, K-Man. I didn't hear that. I haven't heard that one. That's news to me.
So where do you feel like the offense is just as far as settling into the scheme and executing how you want?
Yeah, look, I think we're doing some good things. I think it's still a work in progress. I don't think it's anywhere near what we want it to be. And yet we're 8 practices into a training camp, in a new scheme, new system, got some new pieces in there. I like the progress that we're making. And yet I think there's still, a lot to be desired in terms of where we need to get to. But I do like the progress that we're making, and we're not going to worry about, what the end result is yet. We're just going to worry about the process and how we continue to get better every day. And, down there in the red area, I thought there were some plays where I thought the defense got the better end of it, and then there was a few plays where I thought the offense got the better end of it. And so that's the back and forth you want to see.
Dennis, we obviously saw Jay Kaner out here today. Did you get any update? He was going to have that appointment on the off day to find out if he was going to have to miss any time.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a procedure that's going to take place Monday. And so I think my anticipation as we sit here today would be that he'll probably miss practice on Monday. We have an off day on Tuesday, and I expect him to be back full go on Wednesday. So that would be the expectation as we sit here today.
I know you need to look at the film and all, but did this feel like one of Hayner's best
You're
days?
starting to get the picture, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know where you're going. I'm trying to get ahead of it. Did this just on first glance, did this feel like one of Hayner's best days?
Yeah, I can comment on that. I thought he had a good day today. I really did. I thought there were some good things that I saw out of him, some good throws. Look, we will get in there and we'll talk about, sometimes from my perspective as I'm watching the defense and then I'm watching the offense, and I just want to make sure, sometimes you see some of these plays and, man, they look like really good plays on the outside looking in. And yet what I want to know is, are we going through our progressions? Are we taking what's given to us, and are we progressing through like we're supposed to be? because I think that over the course of time, that's what's going to allow you to be successful consistently. You with me? And so, yeah, I saw some touchdown passes I saw in the last period, and I throw across the middle. So there was certainly some things that caught my eye in practice in a positive way in terms of the way he operated.
Dennis, along those same lines, I think we can overinflate if we see even 2 good plays from a guy here or there, 2 or 3. But is Anthony Orji really adding those up?
Yeah, look, I think here's what I would say. I'd say that he's made a lot of improvement, and he's a guy that's caught my attention a little bit. He's way ahead of where he was last year. He's playing more confidently, which I think allows us to see a little bit more of the athleticism that we saw on his college tape that maybe we didn't see quite as much of last year. Part of that's probably because of some hesitancy of not knowing exactly what to do. So I like what I've seen out of him so far. I'm really excited about seeing what he can do when we get into these preseason games and see if that continues to be the trend as the lights come on.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Part of that is the reality is it was, because in the sophomore year, there's a bit of they kind of have an issue because the first year is getting used to everything. Then it's the transition over to the second year. Some people struggle with that between the year position between rookie year and then going into the second year and then just dealing with all of that and then get to the third year. Seen a lot of players deal with it. Not everybody, but a great majority of the players deal with the sophomore, the dreaded sophomore slump year. It's a real thing. And Alante went to it.
Better vision for his position flexibility. Where's his
But right now he's played every position in the linebacker room. He's played the on-the-ball Sam. He's played the Mike. He played Mike today. He's played the weak side linebacker. So he's played every one of those positions. I think he's handled the volume, pretty well in that regard. And quite frankly, if you're a backup player, which is where he's at on the depth chart right now as we sit here today, as a backup player, your versatility and ability to play multiple positions and be able to help on special teams makes you more and more valuable. And so I think, for a guy like him is, you're trying to catch the attention of the head coach. You're trying to catch the attention of the special teams coordinator. And if you're doing those things and performing those things at a high level, then I think that bodes well for you.
For him, is it an energy factor, or what stands out about his game to you?
I think it's just more about the understanding of what to do, and now I'm seeing the athlete that I thought I was seeing on the college tape that I didn't necessarily see as much last year. And I think that is not uncommon for a young player to be a little bit hesitant because they're not sure exactly what to do early on, and then as they get more experience, they start to understand what they're supposed to do, and now all of a sudden their natural ability takes over a little bit more.
So is the athlete what kind of attracted you guys to him in general?
Initially, yes. Yeah.
What went into the additions of the 2 receivers, Callaway and
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that went into it was, we're kind of nicked up at the position, and here's what happens. There's the war of attrition that happens, throughout the course of training camp, and it's not just the guys that, get injured. Well, now all of a sudden you got the guys that are healthy, they're having to take more reps, and so there's an attrition that goes along with that. And so I think probably as much as anything, it was about, let's get some more legs in here and see what these guys can do. I mean, obviously we've had Callaway, so I think we have an understanding of the type of player he is, and yet there's how does he fit into this scheme, and then Nacua's a bigger, kind of more physical type receiver. Look, just a couple of plays caught my eye in terms of just blocking today. So yeah, I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
How do you feel
What
about
were your
Peyton
thoughts
Turner's
on-
performance so far from a consistency standpoint?
Who?
Peyton Turner, sorry.
Yeah, he's another guy that I think I'm seeing the things that we saw when we drafted this player, and so the consistency, I think, comes from his ability to stay out here on the field and participating, and being able to stay healthy, because that's how you get better and that's how you become, more consistent. And so I think that's the biggest thing for him. I mean, we've seen, look, even last year I thought he made some significant strides in training camp and really started out well in that Tennessee game, and then unfortunately he got injured, and so I think that's probably to get to that consistency that we're looking for. It's really about being able to to be out here day in and day out, and I think that's how you develop that consistency.
Just know that you had a lot of experience around Jari as a player, now as a coach. What was kind of your reaction seeing him get the ring?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Jari's a stud. Look, I would say offensive guard's not the most glorious position in our game to play. I think I said it here yesterday. When you're talking about an offensive lineman, if you're talking about him, it's usually not great. And but Jari, I don't think people really understand what a great player Jari Evans was. He's as good a guard as I've seen. And when you have Drew Brees, as 6'1" quarterback, the interior of the pocket is precious territory. And I don't think anybody protected the interior of the pocket better than Jari Evans did. He was a mauler in the run game, was great in protection, was a great teammate, tremendously hard worker, and I think going to be a pretty good coach. So I was ecstatic that he got that honor, and I don't think he's certainly going to be the last one out of that regime that's going to find their way up into the Ring of Honor.
And were y'all able to actually keep that information from him until that team meeting?
To the best of my knowledge, okay, he was surprised by that information, and so it was a cool team moment. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Dan. Clear, Pat.
All right. All right, give Dennis Allen a round of applause, man, for finally leaving the podium. You know what I mean? All right, K-Man says, question is, can the defense carry us into the playoffs? And he said, I'm not talking about championship. Can we get some momentum and make a run in the playoffs? Jack says, no, defense no longer wins championship, offense run league. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's a good question, K-Man. Thanks for the question. By the way, if y'all have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll kind of sporadically answer them in between the interviews we got dialed up. But what's interesting is the fact that the defense is probably, of the three units, the least questioned, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people really don't have. If you want to look at all three of the units, I would probably say the defense is the least unit in terms of what people are concerned about, right? Right. The offense is definitely number one. I would even put, to a degree, special teams there, because a lot of people know what you're getting with the defense. You still got a lot of your stalwarts there. And as long as guys are healthy, like DeMario has a hamstring issue right now. Lattimore has a hip flexor, DeMario has a hamstring. So if these guys are good to go, we know the defense is going to be solid. A lot of questions offensively speaking. That's why a lot of people are afraid to kind of talk about, the Saints insofar as putting them as a competitor in the NFC. They're kind of, because it's a lot of questions. People say, man, I like this person. I like Elvin Kamara. I like Chris Olave. I like Rashid Shaheed. I like Taysom Hill, but I'm not loving the Saints line. Damn, I like this. I like that, but I don't love you see? And it's not, and they're very right, because we have to get all that worked out. We have to figure out exactly what to do. And you got all this turnover, and then you have a new personnel there as well that got to learn it. Coaches, they have to get used to the players, and all this has to happen very fast inside of a pressure cooker. So yeah, I would probably say the defense is in my opinion, it's the least one of the three that I have any concerns about. Number one, obviously, is the offense. We have to, in particular, specifically, the Saints offensive line, which are going to put, a couple of inexperienced offensive linemen at the tackle position, which is fine. They have talent, but we got to get our offensive coach, John Benton, to get those guys going. And then interiorly speaking, we have to see improvement from McCoy and Cesar Ruiz, who, in my estimation, didn't have great years last year. They didn't. McCoy spent way too much time on the ground. Cesar Ruiz was missing blocks, and they looked really inconsistent last year early on and middle. And then later on toward the back end of the year, everything galvanized, but it was too late by then. They lost too many games, lost a lot of momentum, and then wanted teams to help them get in the playoffs. It doesn't work like that. But yeah, thank you for the question, fam. All right, Brother Rose says, Q, can you bring back the barbershop? Put St. Brown. No, we got to see what they do, bro. They might actually be good. Yeah, y'all remember the old barbershop quartet, huh? All right. How you doing, Eugene? Shout out to you, man, from chiming in from South Philly. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, King Chosen One, big ups to you. Brother Marley Mall's in the thing as well. Good to see you as well. Jack says we should be solid on defense, but I'm concerned about stopping the run. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people forget that the Saints struggled. They struggled, fam, in stopping the run. They allowed 119 yards last year. The secondary was solid. It was the top, one of the top units. But when you get down to the Saints defensive line, we have to do a way better job of stopping the run. We need to stop the run better. And I'm having questions about the interior reserves, because you want to see Brian Bresee. We're talking about A.T. Perry, offensively speaking, stepping up. I want to see Brian Bresee step up and take one of those take that starting job next to Bink Saunders. Let's get that going. And I know Nate Shepard's playing his ass off, but at the same time, just like it's the same position. It's the same similar situation. You have A.T. Perry, and you got Dennis Allen saying AT need to step up. Same thing with Bresee. We need Brian Bresee to step up too and get that starting job. We just like A.T. Perry got Cedric Wilson to deal with. We have Brian Bresee has to deal with Nate Shepard. He have to step up as well. And then we have Christian Boyd to do what he needs to do. And then behind those guys, who you have. So, there's some questions there about stopping the run. So the Saints, from a pass rush perspective, very interesting. But that interior, when you get from the starters into the reserves, which Bresee and Christian Boyd don't look bad as reserves currently. But then if something happens there, who do you have? And we might not have that guy. That guy might be a guy that they pick up once the last preseason game is over and we're getting ready to step into it. We might grab a veteran from a released veteran somewhere before the regular season starts. You never know. Happens every year. We always seem to release a couple of undrafted guys or whatever, and always seem to grab a veteran to add to the team prior to the regular season. So that's always a factor. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yes. Young Bloods. What's that, bro? Says BQ, I'm really concerned about our wide receiver core. What do we really have behind Olave and Shaheed? That's the question. Who else can we count on behind them? Excellent question. And the answer is undetermined, because it's still a lot of work they got to put in, bro. When you talk about Equemia St. Brown, who had all of this potential but never lived up to it. Armand St. Brown did. But Equemius, no, sir. So he's here. Cedric Wilson has always been a sturdy veteran wide receiver, but nothing to brag about. He blocks, he catches the ball, he runs decent routes. He's not flashy, but he's a workman type wide receiver, gets the job done. He's hurt. Bub Means is interesting, but Bubs is hurt. Where's Bub? He's a guy that a lot of people like because Bubs is tough. He has good speed, runs pretty decent routes, but he's unavailable right now, which will these injuries stall out these wide receivers' development. So that's why Marquez Callaway is here. And that's what I was saying on the last show is, man, don't undersell Callaway coming here. Callaway has a familiarity with the Saints, maybe not so much as the offense, because things have changed a great deal since he's come back here. But if you look at some of the guys that he'll be playing against, he has a lot of experience over those guys. Plus, he fits in. He's a big receiver who high points the ball. Some of his best catches are catches that he makes in contested mode when the guys are trying to get the ball away from him. He kick returns, punt returns. Marquez Callaway can make up, and he has some starting experience too with the Saints. So Callaway could have an impact there as well. Stanley Morgan Jr. and all these guys are doing some decent stuff. The only of the youngsters we could talk about, Jermaine Jackson is hurt. Kevin Austin really not shining out. Is basically Mason Timpton, who's been doing, who's been as steady as she goes. So right now, the three wide receivers are banged up right now. There, and the Saints just, what can I tell you, man? We have to wait and see. Yeah, but yeah, you're right to have concerns there, bro. And I think that's what the Saints are trying to do. They don't have a lot of money, so they're just trying to bring in cheap wide receivers to kind of fill the day. But we shall see how it all goes, my brother. Appreciate the question, young blood. Much love. All right. Yes, indeed, man. Yeah, it's definitely something to worry about. Brother Elwood, how you doing? Says, honestly, defense is all we had, and we have, he says, and we one of the best at it. So I believe they can truly, he said, I believe they can, but we had no offense. That's the question. Can offense carry us to the playoffs? Defense can stay the same or better. Yes. And a lot of it is definitely tied to the fact that in many games last year, the offense simply left the defense on the field too much and the defense worn down. There was at least several games that I was doing the play-by-play on that I remember, like I was listening to a really good game, like for some of the family members, get a little bored. They want to hear some Saints stuff. Go back and listen to, and I think we got it separated on this channel down there, the live games. I was listening to the Detroit Lions game. I was listening to the playback for the Lions game when the Saints in there. It was a very exciting game, man. I was listening to, that, and I was like, yeah. And I was remembering, I was thinking about the tight end for the Detroit Lions was just tearing the Saints up, man, in that game. And of course, like the Saints stormed all the way back in the game, and the first play of that fourth quarter was a fumble by Derek Carr coming from pulling back from up under the center, right? And then with the ball loosely in his hand, right? Not secured properly. James Hurst pulls toward him, and James Hurst got his hands out, his fingers out like that, and his fingers poked the ball that was loosely being held by Derek Carr out of his hands. And the Saints was rolling, man. I was like, man. But I was like, when that happened, I was like, that is so Saints. Y'all remember that? And then if you go back and watch the play, it was weird because Derek Carr was still going through the motions like the ball was still in his hand. And then he didn't break out of the play or break out whatever he did until he gets to Elvin and realizes he doesn't have the ball. I was like, what was this? What? Put one in the chat if y'all remember. I was like, dude, this is a play straight off a glitch out of Madden. The ball is poked out of his hands once he pulls the ball from up under the center by Hurst. The ball is on the ground, and Carr still moving like he got the ball to Elvin Kamara and And when he gets to Kamara, then he goes like this to see where the ball is. And I was like, I've never seen nothing like that before. How do you not know that the ball is not in your hands? I was like, go back and watch the show and check out that highlight. It was the strangest thing I seen, one of the strangest things I seen in the entire season. I was like, what the hell? But that Detroit Lions game, man, that could have been a sea change, man, had we been a lot more disciplined. Oh, yeah, that was crazy. I was like, what is he doing? I swear I watched that play like a dozen times to try to make sense of it. It was no sense about it. The ball, you feel the ball not in your hands, and you go through the motion like it's in your hands until you get to Kamara, who was making a move toward the ball. And then when he gets to Kamara, he looks in his hands like, where's the ball? Where is it? Did somebody steal the ball? It was strange, man. I was like, that's that pumped up on them painkillers, crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. All right, yeah, y'all remember that play? Yeah, Jack said he was pretending like Carr pretends to go. Yeah, man. I tell you what, it was crazy, man. But anyway, man, let's keep it going here. I got one I want to play for y'all, man. This is from let me get it geared up right here. It's Willie Gay. He had an interview on NFL Network talking about the black and gold. Give me a second. I'm gonna kind of tune it up for you guys because I want y'all to hear what he had to say about the Saints. And like I said, man, it was watching some football, going back and saying, yeah, man, it's football time. Because y'all know I got to get my game up and get get right where I need to be. Because when the season come here, I got to be on my game when it's time to commentate some of these games, fam. To be honest with you, I got to have my stuff together. So I'll be like, man, I gotta. It's been a while since I did the play-by-plays since last year, right? So your boy, I've been doing the play-by-plays for a while. I do them every game, and most of the family members, that's like their favorite time of the season when we do the play-by-plays. They turn off the television and they just put me on and watch the games while I'm commentating. A lot of people enjoy it through the Sports Coma, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. But I have to kind of refine and crisp it up a bit. So, I'm gonna have to start doing boxing commentary. It's a lot faster. That helps me out with my football commentary, So I'm probably gonna be doing the commentating for Terrence Bud Crawford's fight this weekend on the Ring Kings Boxing. I'm gonna be doing all that. So, Terrence Crawford, that's one of my favorite fighters. He's at it this weekend, and they got a terrific fight card too. A terrific fight card, Jared Anderson, one of the up and coming heavyweights, is on there. Andy Ruiz, the former unified champions, on there, taking on big Jarrell Miller, who I don't know how he's still boxing. He got caught with steroids twice, but he still fight. I don't understand that one. Pitbull Cruz is on the card. I mean, it's just a terrific night of boxing that'll be happening tomorrow, and I'm gonna be kind of doing that. But anyway, let's kind of move on into this. This is Willie Gay right here, fam, talking about the Saints. Put one in the chat if y'all can get it.
When I saw that, and I was like,
we're joined now with one of the newest members of the Saints, Willie Gay. I want to ask you, why did you choose the Saints?
the defensive scheme, the way they play defense over here. It's close to home. I'm from Starkville, Mississippi. It's only a 4-hour drive. my family can come to every home game if they want, even a lot of away games. You know, we play the Falcons and then right up the road in Tampa Bay. So it's close to my family, and like I say, the defense has been a great defense for a while, and to join that is a big deal for me. So
Yeah, you said you like the scheme here. Explain maybe what this scheme is like. You can explain it to me like I'm a 7-year-old or like an ignorant 45-year-old.
well, I'll just say this: you know, it's teams that use linebackers on certain downs. This team used linebackers on all downs, and as you can see, DeMario and Pete been doing it for years after year, and man, first, second, third, fourth down, even if the offense stays out there, Pete and DeMario are on the field, you know. And I saw that, and I was like, hey, I want to be one of those guys. So,
what is it like for you to have the opportunity to be 3-4 down linebacker?
Oh, it's a big deal, you know. Your value goes up. You know, you can make more plays. The more you're on the field, the more plays you get a chance to make. So it's a lot of fun for us at the linebacker position to be trusted, and we're thankful for that.
Your coach, Dennis Allen, obviously comes from a defensive background. There's a great history of defenses with the Saints. He didn't really want to hear it when I was saying that the defense has been winning day after day down here, but that's what we hear. Like, do you ever feel bad a little bit for the offense when you're just putting it to them day after day?
No, man, it's practice. You know, we want to snuff them out as much as we can, you know, because we know once they get going, once they're having a good day, it's one of those days for them. So we know they'll score as much as they can if they get a chance to. So we got to stop them as much as we can. And it's just on and off.
You come into this team as a 2-time Super Bowl champ. What changes once you finally get that first Super Bowl, and how can you share what you've learned with this team?
People ask me all the time, man, if it's a difference, you know, and things like that. But I just say it's the details. You know, you just you get the details right from practice to everyday life. You know, to the way we work together in the locker room and outside of here and on the field, obviously. Everything else handles itself. And once you get the small things handled, then next thing you know, you're in the playoffs. The next thing you know, you're fighting to make it to that NFC championship. So that's the goal.
Do you have a moment that stands out to you on one of those Super Bowl journeys to you that you're going to be able to look back on when you're older that was just special? Like, yeah, that was it.
Man, honestly, just, you know, making it there. You know, I made it to 3 Super Bowls, 4 AFC championships, and I always told myself, you know, after I left the Chiefs, I was like, man, I definitely want to go back, you know, and it's no better team to do it with than with the Saints, you know, and like I say, I'm close to home, so my family can come to the Super Bowl this year. So hopefully we're in it, you know. So
Tyrann Mathieu just sat with us and told us that this team is going to have a lot of attitude. They're going to be nasty this season. Have you seen that out here in the practice field?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a team who, I mean, they didn't make the playoffs last year, so we're hungry, you know, and obviously I'm new, so I wasn't part of that, but you know, I can feel the energy from the guys, and like I say, as a defense, you know, specifically the defense, we're ready to go out and just dominate teams each and every down, and so I can definitely feel that energy.
Give me one name of a guy, one of your new teammates, whether it's a young player that you didn't know much about, or it could be DeMario or anything that stood out to you joining this team, especially in training camp.
Oh, there go them bugs.
I know, I see.
We're getting attacked.
If I just had to give you one player, man, it's hard to just.
All right, give me a few.
Golly.
You're safe. Yeah, that's a big thing.
Oh, it's on your hat. It's because you smell so good.
Man,
you're safe. You're cool.
Yeah, look,
they're just God's creatures.
There we go. Thank you.
My man, appreciate you.
I did not want to smack your head in the middle of
it.
Oh,
man. I would have fell out. But just one guy. And it's a couple. Like you say, it's a couple. And defense as a whole, man. And the big thing for me is, like I say, it's a new team, obviously. I see the offense, and they're getting everything working with the new scheme. So I'll go on the offensive side, man. They have playmakers over there, new guys, old guys, and I think it's going to be a great year for them. So I'll flip the switch a little bit and give them the respect that they need. So
you said you're hungry. I can't believe you didn't say that one of the reasons you joined the Saints was because of the food, but maybe you're just saving that?
Well, I wasn't going to tell nobody, but I did gain 5 pounds the first week in New Orleans. Man, I was door dashing, eating out every other day, you know, and it's it's bad when the DoorDash food tastes just as good as the food you're going to get from the restaurant itself. So,
well, if you can keep the focus on the field that you had during this interview when that big bug was on your head, then you're going to have a great season.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. That's Willie Gay, man. Shout out to Willie Gay, man. Yes. Yes, indeed, man. And that's the thing. And that's another one of those signings, fam, that we're looking at that could have major implications for the Saints defense. We talked about it. Even on this short interview, they showed some of the lines at the bottom of the screen talking about the Saints' the statistical breakdown last year in terms of the turnovers, in terms of sacks, overall yards given up per game, stuff like that. But like I said, there's room for improvement for the Saints defense. And to be honest with you, 28 tied for 28 in sacks had to change. That's not going to cut it. Chase Young is here. Chase Young will improve. Chase Young will get better. He will improve. Next to Carl Granderson, that's the thing that I'm really excited about. To be honest with you, a healthy Chase Young playing opposite of Carl Granderson. This could be probably the most athletically gifted defensive end combo that we've had since, and I've said this before, perhaps Cam and Junior Gillette. You know what I'm saying? Y'all probably could throw some combos in there too. Maybe Cam and I won't say Trey Hendrickson, because we had that going on for 1 year when Trey balled out that 1 year. But the Junior Gillette and Cam combo was pretty special until they paid Junior and he went just crazy. So, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, because now obviously they both have pass rush. They're really good pass rushing, but they're really balanced defensive ends too that can play the run as well as pass. So, they can break it down. They can neutralize the mobile quarterback threat, which is something we suffered for some time now, where quarterbacks leak out. Like we get ready to play Philly. And fam, I was looking at some stuff somebody sent me on Twitter, X, and it was showing like 50,000 of Philadelphia faithful showed up for a practice. Did y'all see that? Put one in the chat. Y'all seen that? 50 large showed up at the stadium to watch the Eagles practice. So they have high aspirations for their ball club this upcoming year. So that's going to be interesting. And we have Philly. We got Philly. So it's going to be fun, man, this year as the season moves forward. Like I said, it's going to be awesome. And then like we just heard from Willie Gay, he's a part of that neutralizing of the mobile QB threat. You see more of the Saints practicing the 43 defense, which can work as long as you have an athletic linebacker that can cover the tight end. You see what I'm saying? And that can make some plays. You cover guys out of the backfield if you need them to. It could work, because you could send him on a blitz. You could do different looks with it, because you don't see a lot of teams. It could be a unique defense to roll out on teams, because a lot of teams don't often use the 43. Nowadays, a lot of these defensive coordinators have just totally bought into the modified nickel. And that's pretty much all they do, Now, every now and again, you might see them throw a dime defense out there or do something a little different. But yeah, the 43 could be something unique. And they do have the personnel to put all three linebackers out there at the same time, which is a very interesting look. So that'll be very positive. So once again, shout out. All right. Yeah. Yeah. That food, man. Food friend. Listen, I'm born and raised down here, baby. Let me tell you something. Food is no joke. 1,000 places to eat in the city of New Orleans, and even not even in the city, just around the city. People can cook. I think the difference is, like, I've been other places and cook, is the fact that how we know how to mix. We know how to, because certain people can cook certain meals, but you have to know how to mix, the seasoning. That's the whole thing, whether it's dry season, fresh season, you got to know how to mix it together and create what we have down here. It's just it's a level. It's a level, baby. It's a level. And so, and I myself, like y'all know, I love to cook. So regardless of whatever I'm cooking, if I like certain foods, I'm gonna figure out how to cook it, because I spend money on it. And then what ended up happening is, like, I said to myself, man, I'm spending way too much goddamn money on this stuff, man. I need to go ahead on and figure out how to make it. So that's what I'll do. I'll figure out, get the recipe, throw it down. Next thing you know, I whip it up, do it. It's all gravy, baby. So, let me stop that. I'm, making people hungry around here. What's up, brother Neville? Shout out to you, sir. Appreciate you being in the stream as well. Slim in the building. What's up, Slim? Hopefully Foskey the snowman can step up. That's right. They've been giving him a lot of credit in some of these camps saying Isaiah Foskey is looking better, bro. So yeah, Foskey the snowman, he should be all right, man. So, but Peyton Turner, heard some positive stuff about him too. But once again, he's in this final year here. So we'll see how it all going, man. It's all right. All right. Jack says Philly defense fell off the cliff last year. They did make some, I mean, the standard is high. Like you gotta be what Dougie Peterson won the Super Bowl, what? How long was that ago? What was that? How long was that ago? About was it 2017 when Philly won it last? When was the Philadelphia Eagles' last Super Bowl with Dougie Peterson? Was it 2017? I want to say it's 2017 when they won the championship. Let me look that up. Y'all remind me. Is it 2017 or 2018? Either one of those years. I think it was 2018. Yeah, 18. It says 2018 February. Yeah, they won it in 2018. They beat the Patriots. What was it? Yeah, 41-33. So that was the last time that they won a championship. So the Eagles, man, like I said, that's what a lot of franchises, man, like the standard is very high. Yeah, Nick Folks had 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 373. LeGarrette Blount ran for 90 yards in the score. Corey Clement had 4 catches and a touchdown there against Tom Brady. Threw for over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns in a loss. Eagles took it from him. Yeah, but see, that's the whole thing, man. When you talk about standards and floors and ceiling, stuff like that, Philly's faithful would never stand for the stuff that's going on. Like they learn, like they hit them with the process with Philadelphia, and it ultimately Joe Embiid was able to get healthy and do something now. But look what they're doing in basketball. They got Paul George there. They're trying to swing for the fences. They're trying to catch Boston. New York did some stuff in the Eastern Conference in basketball. So in the Phillies and all that. So what it is like it's a standard, and people have an expectation, a high expectation. And Philly's tough. That's a tough base, support base. And when they have this up here and you don't show up, you're gonna feel it. So if you Howie Roseman and you're the general manager, you run in the squad, you understand that, and you make moves constantly. And that's what Roseman does. He make moves constantly, whether he's signing players, he has the temperature of the team, and he don't just stop once the season starts. He keeps going. Like you see him in the season. If players are hurt, he's like in league talking to the coach. Hey man, you need what you need. Well, I can use this, seeing if you can make trades to bring players here or sign players off the street to help them out. Stealing people off of our practice squad like they do every year. So yeah, Philly, they have high expectations. Those type of expectations we need to have too. Well, the majority of us need to have to put pressure on. Could you imagine Philly if Gail Benson owned the Philadelphia Eagles? Could you imagine what the support base would be, how they would handle her? Hey, listen. They would. I don't think they wouldn't be too gentle with that Southern Belle, man. They got a lot of hardcore people up there. They'll be pretty nasty and mean, And I assure you that Mickey Loomis wouldn't get away by telling people they're not qualified to talk about his damn team. That's another thing. That's why I got upset and got on his ass about, man. I don't like that, man. All right. Anyway. All right. Let me see. Byron shout out to you, says Q Philly defense was terrible. Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Roseman made some moves this offseason to kind of improve Philly defense. They know that too. They know that Jalen Hurts got to get on code, make sure his offense get going. They picked up Saquon Barkley. So they've made some improvements there. They drafted pretty decently as well. They added a few people there to kind of clean that up. So they're not, when they recognize how bad they are, they just make moves, and they continue to make moves. They continue to make moves, and that's what it is. You have to be a living GM all during the off season, which is the off season is, when games are not being played, and then when the on season start popping off, when the practices and the preseason and then the regular season hit, you got to be going all the way through. And that sounds kind of simple and basic, doesn't it? But if you have a general manager who's telling you, well, I don't make any evaluations during the season because I'm too emotional. I'm emotional when we do good and when we do it. You just say you don't want to do your job then during the season. Just say it. That don't make any sense for you not to do in-season evaluations on a team that needs evaluations done on it during the season when it matters, because with your evaluations, you can find errors and correct them in live time. And I have to wait until the off season for a whole nother cycle to come back around to then implement that. But that's what we're dealing with because we don't put enough pressure on them to win. It's a standard. You have to earn my money. You have to earn my support. And if you don't do that, then you lose my support. So that puts fire under their asses to step this up and get it right. We did this before. Before Katrina came in, when Tom Benson was threatening to move the team to San Antonio and turn them to the San Antonio Saints. He did that then, and people was like, you could take, and people told the politicians, don't you dare give him that. Because he wanted a brand new he wanted a new arena. He was talking about building an open air building on the War Lumber site in downtown, it was on the other side of the convention center, going toward Chapatula's going toward toward Audubon, going back over there. He wanted to they had a big old factory over there. They wanted to plant. They wanted to tear that down, and they had some land over there. They wanted to build an open air stadium. Could you believe that? An open air stadium in New Orleans. When just madness. Saints told them we ain't paying for it. I mean, the family members, the supporters said we don't care what you do. Take them and pack them up and take these sorry ass dogs up out of here. He really did, and it was a standstill. It was a bluff move that he wasn't going nowhere, but he was trying to get as much as he can get out of it. And I'm gonna tell you what saved his ass. What saved him was Katrina came in and destroyed the dome. Then the federal money, state money, and everything else came in, and then they took the opportunity to gut the building. And that's what you see right now. And the last legs of the renovations are actually being fixed right now to get you ready for this upcoming season from that long ago. Hundreds of millions of dollars. So, and when hundreds of millions of dollars on take, that don't just pop up out of there. That money coming from somewhere. That's coming from out of your pockets, whether you know it or not. If you're down here, if you're a resident of the state of Louisiana, that's coming from you. If you work and pay tax, that's coming from you. So make them get something for that. Make them earn it. They'll make you earn it. Charge you for them $20 nachos and all that BS. Sean says Philly has one ring like us. Indeed. All right. Philly's working all year to make the team better. We just focus on the process. We need to get better. Wallace says, what's up, Q, my man? I've been listening to your show now going on 6 years. My brother, keep up the good work. Thank you, brother Wallace. As always, much love. Jack says, I'm too emotional. That's what Mickey said. Shout out to you, brother Wallace. All right. Yeah, this is the thing. So if y'all have any other questions, feel free to throw as I get ready to leave. But hey, man, listen. Right now, the Saints are stepping up. Derek Carr is actually doing good. One of the family members asked, how Carr doing, Q? Carr's doing okay. You know, I played an interview from yesterday where he was talking about stuff like that. And sometimes you kind of listen to Derek Carr, and he got a bit of word salad with him. He does. He's long-winded. He kind of flails his limbs, and he's a cool dude, but, you know, sometimes you want him to get to the point. Sometimes he kind of be all over the place. But, yeah, Derek Carr is he's doing all right, according to the reports. He's doing all right. Now, like I said, I don't know how much and see the eye test is when they get into live games. So you can see the rhythm of the game. I don't know how much of Derek Carr are we going to see in these preseason games, or the Saints first team together, or who knows? You might see him one series, the first game, or I don't know how Dennis Allen's going to do it, but you know, it's going to be tough, man. That's why I said, if I'm the Saints and I'm trying to win, I'm not putting the team on Derek Carr's shoulders. You see, He's a quarterback, $150 million man, but I'm going to operate through the best of my ability through my running attack. I'm going to kind of limit him dropping back just because I want to make sure his timing is together. And this is imperative because when you have two inexperienced offensive linemen covering the tackle positions and you're Derek Carr, you want to get rid of the ball to protect yourself. And like I was telling you, I was listening to the play-by-play for the Detroit Lions game earlier today, just listening to it while I was driving. And something just popped on. And I was just like, man, let me listen to this. And I was listening to the game and I was listening to me break down what I was seeing about Derek Carr. And I was like, all right, Derek Carr, the ball snapped. Derek Carr's looking left, staying left, studying left. And looking left, staying left, studying left. And then he was just looking. He pump faked. I think it was supposed to be to Taysom Hill. No, that was the play before, if I'm not mistaken. He was studying. The series before that. He was studying left, staying left, and looking at Taysom Hill, staring Taysom down, and then pump fakes to Taysom. And then he finally threw the ball at Taysom Hill, and then Taysom gets hit because it's a check down. And Taysom gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage, right? We're waiting for him to get him the ball. While he's staring left, looking left, the linebackers and the defenders know where he's going with the ball. He pump fakes to Taysom for whatever reason, I don't know. Then when he finally throws the ball to Taysom, it's a loss. The guys are already there. Then there was another play that I seen where the ball was snapped and he did the same thing. Like he stayed left and he was looking, I forgot what receiver he was trying to throw to. And all I was saying during the broadcast was like, Derek Carr, okay, he holding on the ball too much. Hey, dog, get rid of the ball. And then he gets sacked. He gets sacked on the play. And that's the thing. I was like, man, Derek Carr, we got to get the ball out of his hands faster. And that's what the thing that kind of hurt the Saints earlier in the year because the timing was off. He would just think he had more time than what he actually had. And he'll be, he'll look at certain people and I guess he'll have second thoughts on where he want to go with the ball. And his timing was off and he would get sacked. And the thing is, if you're Derek Carr, he was already dealing with shoulder issues and broken ribs and all this stuff. You got to get rid of the ball to protect yourself. Even if it's a throwaway, just throw the ball away. Don't take a hit. Don't take a loss of yards, stuff like that. And that's what when Janoku and Kubiak came in, that's some of the first thing they talk. We want to get Derek's footwork together. And I was thinking footwork because I'm thinking progressions. I was like, man, he progresses a little too slow. He's off timed, which is to be expected when he's in a new offense. It takes time for the timing to happen correctly. But if you're running the ball, it's supposed to be easier if you're a team that has a decent offensive line to be able to run the football. And that's what you had to do if you're the New Orleans Saints, because Carr didn't know all those plays right away. And you don't want to put all that on him right away to make plays. And we know he doesn't know the playbook like that. You're asking for failure. So, but we do realize, because he was the newest guy of everybody last year. Everybody else knew the offense except for Derek Carr. He was doing, everybody had to try to help him along. And wide receivers, I don't understand why he was fussing at people and tell them to do this, and they know the offense more than you do. I didn't understand that aspect of it. But in the end, that was the whole thing. Now, this year, everybody doesn't know, but still in all, it's supposed to be an offense that is run driven. Kubiak said that himself. And it has to be run driven because you don't want Carr dropping back too much. And then you got guys firing off the edges, on these inexperienced offensive linemen, knocking Carr ass on the ground and the ball coming loose and all this kind of stuff. We can't have all that. So it's best to just focus on doing the very best we can do to get the running game going so we can open up the play action and kind of work on that like we did last year toward the back end. That's the play action gets going. That's what it's about. That's pretty much all I could probably compare in terms of the philosophy. I just wanted to get the play action going. And once the play action get going, it heightens your chances of winning the game because it forces the defense to think. That's what you want them to do. You want them to think. And while they're thinking and not reacting, and while that's going on, passes are going sailing over their goddamn head, people are confused. That's what it is. You just want to introduce thinking to the defense to make them think. Thinking slows them down, and you're supposed to hit it and go. So that's why Alvin Kamara is important. Jamal Williams should have a decent season too. In this offense with Kendra Miller out, Jordan Mims will get some burn, but Jordan Mims is a good veteran backup running back. So is James Robinson. So the Saints have a good collection of backs that can operate in this system. So, like I said, man, running the ball and get the play action going, Derek Carr will be a lot more comfortable in that offense. But a big part of it is the timing. And then he went from his footwork. Then they talked about his timing. And then they talk about the progressions, him progressing. And even Dennis Allen said that today and talked about progressions and stuff like that. You got to progress. These guys you have to go through your progressions. And that's something I questioned with Derek Carr last year when we did a lot of the shows and all the play bounce. Like he's not progressing consistently. When the ball is hiked, he's staring left or he's looking right and he's not going through where he needs to go through. He's not cycling through correctly because you start seeing him checking the ball down a lot. And then you go back and look at the tape and they have one-on-one coverage over here, somebody wide open over there, and he just didn't see him. So that has to change. You got to take your time and go through what you need to go through, do it the correct way, stay scheduled, stay on time, and get on up out of there. So, I mean, that's what Kubiak, Janoku, and these guys are doing. They want him to operate on time because, like I said, you got a lot of inexperienced guys, the two bookends, then whoever the left guard's going to be, whoever the left guard's going to be. If it's Nick Saldiveri, that's inexperience. If it's Lucas Patrick, that's a guy that started some games, but he's not a full-time starter, more like a backup. Same thing with Shane Lemieux. These guys are unproven guys that are part-time starty type guys that you put in there for a game or two if your starter's hurt. You see? So you're going to have, whatever the case may be, it ain't going to be like a full time, you're going to have some issues there as well. So, but with the running attack, most of them can run. But when you ask them to drop back and, in the pass situation, we just need to kind of work on that running game, grind it out, so to speak, and operate through the play action. That's the best way to kind of do it. And listen, this ain't no secret. I mean, early on, the Saints going to have to figure this out because straight off the bat, they jump right into it. I ain't gonna say a cupcake game against Carolina because I don't want to be disrespectful, but because I checked out a few practices with them and they actually are doing some positive stuff as well with Carolina. But like I said, fam, I don't want to get caught looking over Carolina, looking at Dallas saying, "We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you, baby. We'll come out to Dallas and knock you upside your head." I don't want to get caught looking past Carolina, looking at Dallas, in week number 2. No, we can't do that. We got to handle it one game at a time, and we got to make sure our defense is up to par. We stopping the run and getting pressure on their quarterbacks. We got to make sure we as an offense is running the football correctly and protecting the quarterback, getting the play action going. As simple as that. All that other fancy pants stuff will happen once you get good at those basics. Then you can throw all the little wrinkles you want in there, All right. Anyway, T. Roy says, "What's up, Q? What's going on with AK contract? How much was it? The contract is just a tender that I ain't gonna say what's a tender or it's just an offer. That's a better word. It's just an offer that was thrown out to Alvin Kamara. It didn't come with any numbers. They didn't signify what numbers that Mickey gave to Alvin's agent to let them know. And I'm pretty sure." Usually that first deal is not a deal that you're going to go with. So I'm pretty sure right now they're in the stages of like, okay, the old movies where they wrote a number on a piece of paper, right? They wrote a number on a piece of paper and they wrote it and then they slid it across the table and then they slid it across the table and then he sits there like that. And then, of course, Elvin takes the paper. He looks at it. And then Mickey gets it. No, hold on. Oh my God. What are we doing? Oh, okay. Oh. And then that's how it goes for a couple weeks until we figure out what's going on, you know? But yeah, there was no numbers thrown at it, you know, to it. It's just an offer to him. And that's better than what Elvin was saying. Cause y'all remember his press conference when he said that there was no talking of that going on. So for them to be doing that right now is a positive in my book. So shout out to you, bro. We'll keep you abreast on that. Richard, what's up? Richard says the wide receiver room is concerning. Don't you think, Q? Bro, yes, indeed, man. Listen, matter of fact, I got here's the unofficial depth chart for the Saints right now. Let me see if I can kind of update it. Maybe they put Puka's brother on there. Did they add him to it? Nope, not yet. But yeah, it is concerning because a lot of the guys are banged up. Cedric Wilson's banged up. We covered this earlier in the show. Cedric Wilson, Bub Means, Equimia St. Brown. Saints have 4 if you add Jermaine Jackson. You know, you add those guys. 4 wide receivers are currently banged up. So the wide receiver room is a bit thin. A.T. Perry, the positive is A.T. Perry is getting a lot of work going. Marquez Callaway is a good wide receiver. I've always respected and liked Marquez Callaway. I thought it was an intelligent move for the Saints to bring him back. Mason Tipton is still doing good things as well. So it does open up potential to come here because Marquez Callaway is, and no disrespect to these other guys, but he's better than Kevin Austin Jr., Jermaine Jackson, Stanley Morgan Jr. I mean, he's just more advanced, you know, there. And he had size, speed, and versatility in terms of kick returning and punt returning. He's a trusted option. And he started games for the Saints before. He's still Marquez is 26 years of age, so he's still a young player that can give you something. So, yeah, that was a very smart signing by the Saints to pick Marquez Callaway up and you know, after I think the Steelers released him. So, yeah, it is something, bro, but it's still very early on as well, and we just have to kind of watch and see how things go there. You know what I mean? All right, Jack also says, I'm just excited to see Kamara in office that doesn't just run him up the middle and check down. Indeed, bro. Ain't that tired with all of the attributes and as great as Elvin Kamara could be, and just knowing that AK-41 could do every bit of what Christian McCaffrey does for the 49ers. He can do every bit of that. And we've been underutilizing the man for the last several years. And it's just ridiculous. If used properly, Elvin Kamara could be a guy that leads the league in rushing. Christian McCaffrey did it. They put the weight on his shoulders, and he carried it. So I mean, at this point of this stage of Elvin Kamara, he's very well conditioned. Doesn't have a bunch of injuries and all this kind of stuff going on. He could very well give you a lot of the similar statistics that McCaffrey does give in Sanford, and we compared the two. And they very similar, but I kind of see Elvin Kamara. Maybe it's just the black and gold blood in me that sees him as a person that can do what McCaffrey does, you know, and take it to that level. I can see Kamara doing that, man. Mr. Shock says mostly the offensive line's fault. Carr had no time and then killed it and killed any chemistry. Yeah, this is Shock. You make a point, bro. I ain't gonna say mostly the offensive line fault because I would definitely throw. Yeah, they were poor, man. They have I'll give you that. You can share a lot of blame there because a lot of confidence was killed when Carr was getting beat up in that pocket, but it didn't help things when he was holding on to the ball because he's a little shaky already, but isn't the common thought process is if you kind of shaky on your offensive line, you kind of want to get rid of the ball, you kind of antsy to get rid of the ball as opposed to the motion won't be for you to hold on to the ball and get killed even longer. No, the option is to because the thing is get rid of the ball, get rid of it, you know, get the ball out there, see what you can see. And like I said, we weren't dealing with a healthy Carr all season long. Like I've said, this dude was pumped up on painkillers. He was just out of his mind on a lot of these games, and it was just a shame. But yeah, you make a lot of great points on that. Thank you, brother. Appreciate your commentary. Richard says, I like the Peterman release. Sometimes you see the vision, but you have to commit. I think they like these two young QBs. Yeah, Peterman was there. They made it early on, bro. They just say, you know what? You're not going to Jake Haener played. He talked about Jake Haener today, Dennis Allen, how this, how really solid his practices is, and him working with John Gruden in the offseason has really kind of elevated Jake Haener's game, man. And he sees himself as a future quarterback. He like, the hell with that Spencer Rattler stuff. I'm Jake Haener. I was here before. I was seen as the future of the team, and I'm not relenting. If you want my job, come and take it. I'm the second guy here. You're the third guy. And I like that, man. I like that. So we'll see. All right, Black Mitch at 13 and 14 this season. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Byron says AK-41 know what he deserves, but Mickey got to get you got to get it done quickly. Indeed, bro. Richard says, okay, once Mickey said he wants to be here and we want him to be here, well, get it done. Mickey is too vain to say that without confidence. Yeah, Mickey Loomis says that he don't want to talk about it. Then you hear him talk about it. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, keeping it personal. Contract is a personal thing. It's a personal thing. And that's between the team and the player. Like Mickey, dude, Elvin Kamara basically told us everything that happened, that y'all ain't been reaching out to him and he wants a new deal. Nobody was saying nothing, And then Elvin Kamara said something that raised my antennas, which was, I guess, feelings was, he was looking down when he said it. He said feelings was that, I was supposed to do something that they wanted me to do. And I guess, and remember that? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. And I stopped and I said, hold on. What did they want you to do? And he said feelings was. So he wasn't directly, he's too cool to directly label somebody. But what he was saying was, they wanted him to do something and he didn't do it. And he believed that which was holding up the contract and all that stuff from getting done. Now, what the hell was the Saints trying to get him to do? That's my question. The media people didn't even press on that. And I'm like, he gave you an alley-oop. Why they didn't take that alley-oop? They asked everything else. That's prime territory right there. They know when to step in there and when not to. Boy, I tell you what, because if anybody said Elvin Kamara and he said that, the next question should have been, after he finished speaking, well, Elvin, what did they want you to do? What do you mean by that? What did they want you to do? When Chase Young was talking about him reading books when he was hurt, the guy asked the question, well, what you reading? No question even touched that. They ran right past that and didn't even attempt to ask a question about what the Saints wanted Elvin Kamara to do and why he felt like that's the reason why his contract wasn't done. Now, they had the great Saint think tank in the Who Dat Nation. They put up, it was like, well, Q, this is this, and that's what I think it is, that and the third. And I'm like, yeah, you might have a point on that. Because it was a couple of Saints that were bigger names that was part of the quote and end quote fractured guys that were talking about how the team didn't have accountability and that the guys was false starting and stuff like that. And they didn't like that because they petty. Elvin was very vocal last year. So was Marshawn Lattimore was vocal too. That's why those guys both had issues. They was trying to trade Laddie until they pulled them back. And Elvin Kamara right now is saying, where my contract at? Well, listen, you rushed for 600 yards last year. Okay. Let's just get this straight, Alvin. Can I call you Al? Okay. All right, Al, listen, baby, sweetheart. You rushed for 600 yards last year with 4 touchdowns. I don't think what you put on this paper right here, it's going to work, buddy. Why don't you take this these $5 million and let's call it a day, shall we? And it's just whatever the case may be. Even Elvin Kamara said that. He was like, man, listen. He talked about smart guy, smart dude. He's smart brother. Very smart. Very smart. Al, can I call you Al? Hold on. Elvin. Hold on. Can I call you Al? All right, Al, listen, baby. Listen. And then Mickey starts talking like a Hollywood agent. Elvin, darling, baby, sweetie pie. Oh, listen, that's not going to work. Let's take this $5 million and make it a deal. Let's make it a deal. But it's just give Elvin his money, bro. Mickey Loomis doesn't really haggle over contract. He didn't have a haggle over Carr. They gave Carr a blank check. They gave him a blank check, but then when it comes down to Elvin Kamara, we gotta shoot it low. We gotta watch the cap now. Out of all these years, you finally watching the cap now because you done backed us into a hole so deep now with that contract of Carrs. It's ridiculous and several others. Now you want cheap shot your best offensive player. Let's just get it done, man. Enough of this other stuff. And then there'll be that's going to be problems because you're not going to be able to get everybody at the contract. You still got Paulson, the Debo, and a few other people. So a lot of young cats we see on the team might get opportunities in the future, man, for real. Because unless they make some moves right here to do some stuff differently, team going to look a little different next year, don't you think? Don't you know? All right. Big ups to the fam, man. All right. Ryan says, I wanted to know what they wanted him to do. I don't know, bro. Remember that? Y'all remember? Say, look at the people that won in the chat. Yeah, Q, we remember that. Like, what the hell did he didn't elaborate? And the media knew not to ask that question. They knew not to follow that up. They asked everything, but didn't follow that one up. They know when to ask, fam. That was a toss up right there. And Elvin Kamara was like, yes, the feeling, and he didn't, I think, he's like, the feeling was, that they wanted me to do something that and I didn't, he said he didn't do it, or he alluded to him not doing what they wanted, said what they wanted him to do. And he was like hinting on that's why his contract situation was getting gummed up. I don't know. All I could tell you is what I heard him say, and the fact that none of them reporters followed up on that question. They knew not to. What's up, Julius? Shout out to your fam. T. Will says, ask AK on the sideline when Jameis and Jamal Williams went for that. Well, you say, ask him on the sideline when Jameis went for that TD. Is that, you saying ask him that? I don't know, bro. Julius says he better not offer $5 million. Elvin, listen. Can I call you Elvin? Oh, yeah. And Elvin's just looking at him like, I'll call you Elvin, okay? You can call me Slick Mickey, okay? L. Then Mickey starts sounding like one of them sleazy Hollywood agents. Hey, baby, Curie, sweetie pie, how you doing? Oh, yeah. That dude. Can I call you Al? No, you can't call me that, okay? My name is Elvin, all right? Oh, well, you call me Slick Mickey. I'm not calling you that. Yeah, Elvin, Slick Mickey. All right, Jackson, they didn't even give Carr a prove it deal. They needed Kamara to make this new offense work. Pay him. They didn't hammer on that. There was no questions asked. Carr got whatever he wanted. That's all I know. The Saints was trying to give Carr the money. They gave him a blank check. They was trying to trade for him first, and Carr was like, I wanted to be here. And then when the Raiders were going to trade him, he kiboshed the trade. Carr did. Then he went into free agency and he tried to build up his market, and nobody was going to pay him that money except for the Saints. The Saints was the only one that was desperate enough to give $150 million out. So Carr got to go and work for it. And he 1,000 yards off of being the franchise leading running back. How about that for Love? What Love got to do with it, Q? I know it ain't got a damn thing to do with it, right? Jack says, do the Saints have a meeting with the media prior to these press conferences? Because they never ask any press. The way I understand it is, that's what people are saying, Q, why don't you go and do such and such, such and such? Fam, I can do all of that. But I'm going to be asking y'all for financial contributions to give my damn money back once they take that press badge away after I go down there for 1 or 2 practices. Because that's what the hell going to happen. Because the way I see it is, it's a certain amount, it's certain questions that, that they know not to ask. Because it's the same guys There ain't too many new people. You're listening to the same people, aren't you? You know who they are. You know their voices. You know all of their voices. You listen to all the press conferences, the same 6, 7, 8 people, and they camera people or audio team or whoever. And they got certain questions that's off limits that you can't ask them. There are, and they know it too. That's why all of them not answer it at the same time. Like one dude over here who off code say, "Hey man, what about such and such?" You know, they know. It's very controlled. And the thing is, if you add, and the team PR department approves who goes to talk to whom, where, and how, right? And then you can't really, a lot of the reporters don't get too upset with them because some of these guys just work for people. It's a job. So if they don't want their credential to be pulled away, that'll piss off the newspaper they work for because they wouldn't be able to get the coverage. So a lot of them, these are just workers, they're employees. So they stay in line and they ask the questions that won't get them in trouble or cause them to lose their credential, you know, so on and so forth. It's a job. You see, it's a job. All right. Patrick says, who that? What's up, brother Patrick? How you doing, fam? Appreciate you. All right. Yes. All right. T Will, what's up, bro? Says, was AK on the sideline by choice instead of going in the game when Jameis and Jamal went for that TD? They might have wanted AK in on the play and he refused so Jamal can go in. I don't know, bro. That's a good question. I know if you go back and watch the film, he was standing there, but I don't know. That's a good one, bro. I have to go back and study on that one. That was actually that requires a little bit more research there. Be Kind says, we know why the Raiders wanted to get rid of Carr. Yeah, he was upset about that because he was, at the time, Derek Carr was like, man, I'm a Raider for life. He was hurt by that because he's seeing himself as a person that it was weird for him. He even said that to put on any other colors but Raider, black, and silver. And I respect the Raiders. I really do. A lot of the Raider support base are super cool people with me. You know, a lot of the Raider family base watch the Sports Coma. They got love for the Sports Coma. I got love for those guys too. Because, you know, and like I said, if there wasn't the Saints, if it wasn't the black and gold Saints, I might be a Raider guy. I don't know. In the alternate reality, Sports Coma probably a Raider. Just be accused of Raider guys. So we're in alternate universe. But in this universe, baby, it's black and gold to the core. And ain't nothing higher. Jack says they don't want to talk to you, Q. They will. Yes, indeed. I get a couple of them in there first, and then they'll turn on your credential because it's based on the team. Like you can get it and go, but whether they let you in, that's a whole nother thing. It's left up to the decision of the PR department. Is how it goes. So anyway, Richard says Mike Tripp pushes it to be fair. Yeah. But he's professional. He's real. He asks a million questions, and that's just it. With Triplett, I always give Triplett and Nick Underhill credit because many of the stories that we get, like we got the really good and juicy ones from last year, and some of these this year, it's because of that team there. Them guys go in there. Mike Triplett fires a lot of questions. He doubles up. I want to say Mike Triplett doubles up questions. Like if he goes in there and there's 8 or 9 of them in there, Mike Triplett, they allowed to ask 100 questions, right, to 4 or 5 different people. You better believe that Mike Triplett gonna double up whatever questions anybody else got. Like everybody else asks 10 questions to those 5 people. I guarantee you, Mike Triplett asks at least 15 or 20 of them because it's his method. What he does is he'll fire off a question, and then while the guy's answering the question, he knows when to jump in and put the second question there and then lead into the discussion and then create a third question into a very, very crafty guy. Very, very good at what he does. If you study some method to what he does, like that's how he gets those scoops. Because he'll open the door and then while you're there, he'll get you to be more descriptive and then get 2 or 3 off 2 extra questions off the initial first question. Very slick. Very slick. I wish a lot of people took that method with Mike Triplett. He's terrific. All right, Jack says Carr was like crying about getting cut and actually crying. Yeah, he's soft. Nah, he was a guy that believed in the Raider way. He was Mr. Raider. Derek Carr means a lot to the Raiders. He don't mean nothing to y'all. But Derek Carr means a lot to the Raider Nation. He really does. Derek Carr took down a lot of the Raider stats, their passing stats. Watch this. Watch this. A lot of people don't realize that. They see Derek Carr as some dude with $150 million check the Saints giving him. But Derek Carr means something to somebody. That's not us. Let me see. Let me see his Raider records. He was out there for a long time, man. Now his record as a Raider was 63-79. That's not very good. But he owns he got a bunch of records with the Raiders, man. He got a bunch of records with the Raiders. Watch this, let me prove it to you. There's an article right here. Derek Carr means something to people, man. Maybe not too much to the Who Dat Nation, but Derek Carr gets a lot of love in Raider time, man. He spent a lot of time out there, and people love him, man. If you take a look at some of his statistics, this is some of the stats that, he leads their franchise with. Drafted in 2014, 26 pick overall in 2014 draft. He owns multiple records as a 9-year starter. Carr leads the franchise with passing yards. Over 35,000 passing yards. Second on the list is Ken Stabler, who had just over 19,000. So he almost doubled up Ken Stabler stuff. When he surpassed the 35,000 passing yards, he became the fourth player in NFL history to accomplish this feat in his first 9 years. With 217 passing touchdowns, Carr again has a substantial lead over the next man on the list, who is Ken Stabler again, who has 150 of them. In 21, Carr set the single season passing record for the Raiders by drawing over 4,800 yards. For a single season passing, Carr appears in 4 of the top 5 spots. The only other Raider quarterbacks to appear in top 5 is Rich Gannon, who threw just over 4,600 yards in 2002. Carr sits only behind Gannon for the quarterback rushing yards with 845 to Gannon's 1258. And LaMonica holds the franchise record for touchdowns thrown in a single season at 34-69. However, next on the list is Carr, who threw 32 in his second season. In his 9-year career, he leads the franchise in completed passes with over 3,200 passes and more than double the next man on the list. So there you go, Derek Carr, man. Derek Carr means something to somebody. Like I said, Derek Carr is a guy, he means a lot to somebody. Might not mean nothing to you, but he means something to somebody. So there you go, fam. People, there's a lot of people that got love for him. All right, Rebel Raider. There go one of our Raider family members, man. What's happening, Rebel Raider? He says Derek Carr wasn't crying about getting cut. He was upset along with the whole team that Josh McDaniel was a clown and didn't want to make the changes. That's why he got fired. Thank you, Rebel Raider, for that, man. Yeah, because he was. I seen him crying. I seen the video, but I knew that he was upset because he's seen himself as a Raider for life. He even said it in a recent interview that it felt strange putting on another team's colors. He said that at first it was because he thought he was going to finish his career as a Los Angeles or Las Vegas Raider. That was the thing. All right, Cartel, shout out to you, says Big Q, they can't handle the truth. That's why they don't want to give you. And yeah, well, I mean, shout out to TJ, man. But yeah, it's a lot of it's to a degree. I don't want to sour the game because I enjoy the game. I enjoy talking to you guys, but there's certain corporate and fake plastic ways in this stuff. You know what I mean? That's tied to it. And I don't want to have that to spoil the love of the game that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of fakeness on that end of it, and when I see it, I call it out. That's all I can do, and make you aware if you don't know, or at least try to galvanize the support base in a way where we can get the team to perform better because we have an impact. They want your support. Like I said, they can't do nothing without you. Now, and knowing that, use that to your advantage. Like we can get if the prices in the dome for concessions is too high, let's do something about it. All you have to say is open your mouth and make a stand. It's as simple as that. That's what it's all about, man. That's how the universe works. If you want something, you got to pronounce it. You got to speak. You can speak life or you can speak death. A lot of things people said that wasn't going to happen, man, despite stiff opposition. But some kind of way it ended up happening for the better of the people. It's the same dynamic that people have shown this over you just got to be a person that understand history and study history and understand your power. That's why I always say don't advocate your power. I don't care what it is. If you don't like how stuff being ran as a person in society, you're old enough and you learn the game and understand how things go run for a political seat. Stop using this stuff about, oh, I ain't got time to do it. I got to go work. Man, how things going to change if you know better? Do something about it. You see? Because your words have an impact. What I'm saying right now could actually be helping or saying something to somebody, make them say, you know what? I'm going to change my perspective on that. That's what this is all about, man. You know, we have control. We have power. That's my main message, man. I always advocate people to stand for causes they believe in, right? Don't let it go anymore. If you're thinking it's too degenerate nowadays, take a stand. Saying enough is this. You'll find out there's a lot of people out there that agree with you, that'll rock with you. What's up, Ross the Boss? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you for being here. Rebel Raider says it was at the Colts game they lost due to McDaniels not running the ball to win the game. Yeah, McDaniel was a bad choice for that. He proved that he wasn't really anything but an offensive coordinator. Where is he at now? Is he still in the NFL? I don't even think that guy in the NFL no more. And he ain't got nowhere to go with Bill Belichick going. That's what he's the New England Patriots version of Pete Carmichael. That's what it is. If Bill Belichick was in the NFL, Josh McDaniels would be running up under his skirt to go and work for him. That's just like with Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael, wherever he goes, he go run up under Sean Payton. I said that when they fire his ass, he's going to go run wherever Sean Payton is, and that's exactly where he is right now, working for Sean Payton. Boy, Sean Payton got some chillins out here, boy. Joslo says, do you believe we add another offensive lineman? There was reports indicating that the Saints were looking at trying out some tight ends, bro. So we might see that before then. But like I said, the Saints just added 2 more offensive linemen. You know, I know we covered that early in the year. So they added 2 more experienced offensive linemen to the team. So any more, I don't know. It depends, bro. But I wouldn't doubt it. Eventually, if somebody gets banged up, you know, we are dealing with some issues right now, especially in the wide receiver room. They're just catching it right now. All right, Cortez, just like boxing, too many politics. Football, they want you to be, he says, want you to be quote unquote scripted. Yeah, that's the control aspect. Yeah. Got to stay on script. A lot of times, a lot of the reporters that read in these networks, they read off script. Everything they say comes off that. Some of the commentary about the team, maybe not so much, but they have notes. But most the television networks want you to stay the script. They believe that you'll be less likely to say something that'll get them sued or something like that, you know. All right. Rob Raider says, I hope Carr gets you guys to Super Bowl. I wish he had a group of talent like he has now when we had him. Yes, thank you, Rebel Raider. Shout out to you, bro. Hope you guys have a good season too, man. I know y'all still looking for y'all quarterback of the future. I don't know if you guys still have him, man, but I do like Antonio Pierce, and I do think you guys are headed in the right direction. I can see Antonio Pierce signing similar to a D'Amico Ryans, a respected former linebacker who's a people person, who's intelligent enough to articulate the game across the board. Attention detail centered and thorough. That's my assessment of Antonio Pierce. Very similar to D'Amico Ryans. Very similar. But, you know, like I said, I'm just not just up on y'all quarterbacks like that. I think y'all paid a boatload of cash to Gardner Minshew. I think that was a mistake. Y'all got a young quarterback. I think the young guy from Purdue y'all have, and I think he's okay. I just don't think he's a franchise guy. Y'all might get y'all franchise guy coming up this upcoming season. They got quite a few of them there. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you there. All right, Jack says I'd pay you $1,000 to go to me. I'm crazy enough to do that too, bro. Jaslo says, love Laddie Daddy, but he hurt too often. Do you think he can get a fourth from? I don't think the Saints, they trade him now, but it depends, man. You know, you want to try to have Elvin Elvin. You want to make sure Laddie Daddy, Marshawn Lattimore, gets 100% healthy, have a great season, and then if you have to move him, and more than likely you're going to end up moving him next season, let's move him on a high where he's healthy. He had a 6 or 7 pick season, right? He's in the top 10 in interceptions, and then you move him, you know, with all that going on, as opposed to moving him where he's hurt or stuff like that. You ain't gonna get value. So, because I don't think Lattimore is going to be here next year. I think this is a one-hitter quitter type situation where the Saints got to get up off of Lattimore, and Paulson Adebo is the future. Alante Taylor's there, Makule McKinstry, and the Saints will just keep adding to it, because the philosophy, obviously, going into the next couple of years is to use the draft and cheap free agent signings, undrafted signings to kind of fill out the team until they get back up off that cap hell. No, it wasn't reported, Rebel Raider. They didn't say. All right. Yeah, they didn't report this some. Cartel says just not about football. That's why. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's life with me, man. I talk sports, I talk football, but I kind of mix them in, you know, because it's relative, you know. It's quite interchangeable if you think about it too, you know, because you know, it's all in the same game, so to speak. Lattimore, he says, Jessler, do you think they can get a fourth for him? A 4th round pick for Lattimore, if he's balling on, I think, well, I could see him if he plays well and he balls out and he does it. I can see him maybe getting a little bit more than a 4th round pick. But then again, if it depends on if Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen is here, and like they just gave like the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade where they just got peanuts for him. I don't know, bro. But I think you can get more than the 4th for Lattimore. I think you can get as much as a 3rd for Lattimore. You know, if he's playing well and he had all these interceptions and he's healthy going into next year, I could see you getting a 3rd for Lattimore. But with Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis, if they still here, I mean, Mickey's going to be here, but if Dennis Allen, you know, if he's still here, I don't know how that will go, you know. Then again, it's not a given that the Saints could, you know, decide to keep Paulson Adebo. It's not a given. That's not even a given. That's what I'm saying. I don't, it's commonsensically, it makes sense for you to give Adebo his money, trade Lattimore next year. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry, obviously, that'll take a larger role. Alante's still operating off his rookie contract. And then you would do that. Then you get further in the game. Then next draft cycle, you start looking at another cornerback and a DB, a safety back there, because you need a couple of young defense. You need another safety of the future too. With Jordan Howden there, Tyrann Mathieu getting older. So yeah, you can kind of cycle back to the draft, stuff like that. But yeah, I can see them trading, but I can see them getting, depending on where Lattimore is in production, I can see him getting a 3rd for him. And then it's a couple of factors though about Mickey Loomis and what they're willing to ask for Lattimore. Like they did, they just botched the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade all up. Like we could have done a lot better than that. But we'll see, bro. Yeah. All right. Byron said he went back to New England. Is he still in New England with Belichick gone? He said, I could see myself being a Carr fan. He's a decent leader and passer. It could be worse. It could be worse. I mean, especially if you can get him in the right system where he's running the ball. I think he can have success with Derek Carr. But like I said, it was certain aspects, just to keep it 100 with y'all guys, 150 with you. I seen a lot of Derek Carr like last year, not the Raider stuff, but the Saints stuff. And in many of the games, you know, he was slow. A lot of his progressions were slow. He would stare down one side of the field too long. And he was at times he was too indecisive. And then you couple that with the fact that he was dealing with these injuries. They had him shot up on that painkiller all over. He was like, they shot him up in different areas of his back, this way, then here, and he's pain shots, 4 or 5 shots in his body. that got to have an effect on your mind some kind of way, man. And it showed too in some of them games, man. It didn't look like his eyes was bucking out of his head. The ball sailing over here, the ball low here. It had an impact on him, man. It really did. But like I said, into certain like running the ball and play action car. I love play action car. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love play action car. I love play action car because that's the best. That's what I like to see. Him operating off the back of the running attack, play action car. All right, he says we have to stop looking at rookies as automatic legends and give them time to grow. Exactly. That's what Bill Parcells said. Parcells says he considers a rookie like a loss. You know, I think a rookie starter. I have to pull up that quote. But he considers them a loss. It's crazy. But Parcells, the big tuna, said that, man. You can't, because you can't count on them fully because they don't know the game. You know, they new to it. They got to figure it out like everybody else does. T. Will said, what's coming first? Dennis Allen and Derek Carr leading us to the Super Bowl run, or Turk being on the Hot Boys till I'm waiting? Yeah, I heard BG dissed him. You heard that, T. Will? BG had dissed him on the song, man. I heard a lot of BG new stuff. I'm not really. I like the one him and Baby did. I think that was pretty nice. The cut when him and Baby did together, the song they did was actually pretty fire. But some of the other stuff, although I like B Jizzle, man, I don't like some of the beats. You know, I'm thinking, man, we could find him a better producer or get Manny to work with him on some stuff, man. Some of the music just is not catching me, man. But I do like the Baby cut. But I did hear the song with him saying something kind of greasy about Turk. But I would probably say Turk being on the Hot Boys tour before the Super Bowl run, even though I would like to see both of them, probably the Super Bowl run before Turk and Hot Boy, because that's just a matter of money, right? All right, Byron says, Q, I bet you talk slick Mickey Mouse why he says taking so shut long calls and mistakes when he not paying our players when the contract is very poor. Yeah, that's the thing. They got to be challenged. Mickey Loomis made it seem like it's a hardcore thing for them to get it. And Mickey Loomis, he understands. He has a reputation as a guy that doesn't give a goddamn about what offers he's making. He gave Carr a blank check. Come on. You know, and now all of a sudden we missed the conservative. Yeah, that's after he ran a team in the ground monetarily speaking, because I didn't do it. Shit, I ain't do it. Quavadia says Mason Fairchild, Kevin Radar have been signed by Saints. Jesper has been cut and Hudson put on the IR. Thank you, bro. Let me pull that up for the family members. Give me a second. I'm going to pull that up because they were looking at some tight ends. Like I told you, about 30 minutes ago, they were looking at a few people. And hold on, let me see if I can get that. Because they tried out some tight ends today. They just didn't list who they were. Hold on here. Let me see if I could kind of pull that up. For the family members. Or you could just cite the source. Who said that? Quavadius? Put it in the comment section, bro. Let us know, man. And we'll look into it. Oh, I'm trying to find it right here. See if it's. Hold on. I'm not seeing it, bro. Just put it in the chat. Let me know where you got your source at so I can share it with the family members. All right, B. Khan says I'm a higher corner. He says I'm a higher cornerback's super important position. Yeah, I know, bro. That's yeah. But like I said, they can't pay everybody, and they know with Marshawn Lattimore, you got Paulson Adebo's contract coming due. There's a bunch of players' contracts that's coming due, and that's why I was like, a lot of these guys, you're not going to be able to keep them. Pete Werner's contract is up. He's on a 1-year deal. You know, Willie Gay's on a 1-year deal. Chase Young's on a 1-year deal. Peyton Turner's on a 1-year deal, if that matters to you guys. Juwan Johnson's on a 1-year deal. Who else we got on a 1-year deal that's remaining here? You know, like I've already mentioned, Paulson. So that's a lot of people right there, man. That's mostly starters I named, by the way. Juwan Johnson, Chase Young's going to be a starter. Willie Gay, who's for a 1-year deal, Pete Werner, Paulson Adebo. Those are all starter guys. Potentially some of them, but those are starters. You ain't gonna be able to retain all those people, man. Jack says, if we're trying to get out of cap hell, why aren't we trading down or trading players for more capital? We need youth movement. Yeah, and I can see that they're going to start doing that, Jack. Some of that stuff they're going to start implementing, but that's the thing about Mickey Loomis. That's why I was saying that we need a younger general manager to kind of take over the team, because he's kind of set in his ways with how he's been constructing this team. And the last 3 years, it hadn't really yielded the results that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? All right, Julie says, hopefully Kubiak makes it easier for him. I'm betting on that, bro. That, speeding him up, working on his progressions, making sure Derek Carr sees the whole field. That's what I want. Let's see the whole field, DC. Let's see all that. And let's hand the ball off, make sure his timing is all right, and try to get the best out of him. Because sometimes you got some of these older veterans, and they carry with them bad habits from previous stops that you got to kind of, with repetition, work it from about of them. But, like I said, I think Janoko and these guys are going to get that done. All right, Cartel says, BG definitely not the same as he was. He's for the mainstream. He's the heart of the streets, brother. Yeah. Things kind of change, haven't they, bro? And they supposed to, right? Rebel Raider says he went from 4-13 to 12-3, and he says in one season. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Cartel Ski, I see a lot of books in your background. Not sure if it's green screen or not, but what are your top 3 reads? I haven't been doing too much reading per se. I think the top one I've been reading on for a while now is this one right here. And I don't know if y'all know what this one is, but this is one right here. How you like that, baby? This one right here, man, this give you the whole gameplay. If y'all won't get you one of them, man. It's pretty nice. How much man, let's see here. I forgot how much this one costs. But yeah, this is the main one, bro. Get your mind right on this one, bro. Yeah, that's one. And then I listen to a lot of audio books too, man. So yeah, I'm an avid reader, man. I just didn't have the time. Usually when I'm driving around, if I ain't got something sport related on, I'll have some audio book playing or something like that. I gotta update my knowledge base from time to time. So like I said, I was studying to be a researcher in school, trying to figure out why things are what they are, how things and systems are why and what they are. So when I approach different things from different ways, I usually figure out pretty quickly why this is like this, why this is like that, this, that, and the third. So like from the political standpoint, I kind of figured out a lot of stuff, man, pretty easily. So, and then another thing, don't put emotions into politics. Don't get your emotions involved in that. Don't get emotionally involved in that, because it kills the logic process. You got to stay logical when you going through whatever this stuff is that they're doing. You got to stay logical. Don't let them get you emotional. That's a big trick that I see them doing all the time with different topics. They get you all riled up emotionally, and the moment you get emotional, logic goes off. That logic mind shuts off, and you're operating on a different mind. That's how a lot of stuff happens, man. Bad to people. Okay, he says Saints Wire. Okay, give me a second. Let me pull that up, brother. But yeah, that's one of the ones, bro. But there's others. I guess if I give in the time, I can kind of tell you about. But that's pretty much the ones right now. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull that up for the family members. All right. All right, there you go. Is it? Oh, let me make sure. All right, here we go. Thank you for that, Quavadius, man. All right, this is one right here, fam. Right here, the Saints, what they did here. They kind of bring in the free movements right here. Shout out to John Sigler at the Saints Wire. Saints Shuffle. Depth chart at tight end, signed 2 free agents. So the Saints in the last couple of days signed 2 wide receivers, and then they add a couple of tight ends now too, as we covered the article right here. Wide receiver isn't the only position group getting reinforced at New Orleans Saints training camp. Saints reshuffled the tight ends depth chart on Friday evening by signing 2 free agents per Nick Underhill, including a rookie who made plays in one of college football's most exciting offenses. Here's a quick look at what each of them have to offer and a recap of the corresponding roster moves and the educated guess of how the depth chart may stack up at the tight end moving forwards. Okay, Mason Fairchild signed to the 90-man roster. Fairchild 6'4", 260 pounds, though he posted a RAS of just 4.85 out of 10. He did a lot of heavy lifting for the Jayhawks the last 5 years. He logged more than 1,200 snaps as a run blocker and was a big part of their passing attack last 2 seasons, totaling 62 catches for 894 yards over 26 games. He converted 46 first downs and scored 9 touchdown receptions in that span. We'll see whether that playmaking ability translates. What will best determine his future is how can he execute the blocking assignments given to him. Fairchild already tried out for the Bills this summer without much success, so it's a fair question how much he has to offer, but he might have a better opportunity here in offense built on many of the same zone blocking principles that Clint Kubiak favors, even if Lance Leopold has more success running inside zone than outside. So there you go. So a tight end as familiar with zone principles here, zone blocking principles, and Mason Fairchild, 6'4", 260. Kevin Radar, hope that's how he says, they're signed to the 90-man roster. Radar is 6'4", also 250 pounds, and RAS was 3.62 coming out of school. Out of 10, he played college football at Youngstown State, spent 2 years with the Titans and 2 more with the Steelers to start his career, but he's never seen much game action since turning pro. He's played more snaps on special teams, 495, than on offense, 323 through 4 seasons. 2/3 of those snaps have been him on blocking run plays, which gives him an idea of the role the Saints envision for him. So there you go. And then, of corresponding moves, Tommy Hudson designated to the injury reserve. He was another backup tight end the Saints have, mostly a practice squad guy. Hudson was hurt at practice recently and was waived with injury designation. The Saints placed him on the IR after he cleared waivers. It's a tough break for Hudson after he spent 2023 season on the practice squad waiting for his opportunity to climb the depth chart. Jesper Horsted placed on waivers. Horsted was signed early this offseason with an opportunity to try out at training camp after previously playing for the Raiders, but he didn't make any plays or take a lot of reps with the first and second string offenses. So the Saints brought in other players to compete at the position. Updated depth chart: Juwan Johnson, Foster Monroe, Taysom Hill technically, Dalen Hawker's there, Michael Jacobson, Kevin Radar, and Mason Fairchild. It's probably more realistic to put Hill with the fullbacks, if not his own position group. But he's still going to line up at tight end and block and run routes from time to time, so we're reflecting that. Hawker appears to have pulled away from Jacobson in the battle for TE3 spot, which is encouraging. He needs to prove to the coaching staff that he has more to offer in that role than the guys on the roster, as well as Jimmy Graham, who has expressed an openness to one more year with the Saints while training for next summer's Arctic excursion. Radar and Fairchild don't really move the needle, but they'll have ample opportunities with Johnson still on the mend. So shout out to John Sigler with the scoop on the Saints' new additions to the team. So there you go, fam. Saints add these guys there and keep it pushing. Now, well, like I said, these are tight ends at blocking tight ends at best. So thank you, Quavadius, for putting us up on game on that, man. Appreciate you. Richard says, Q, we're going to go through these and then we're going to leave. Q says the NFC is wide open this year. The AFC is tough. If you look at the 08 roster, it was the best of that year. Ireland has been a blessing, I believe. Play the 1987. He says, played that 1987. I believe that is classic. All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Richard, Mr. Shock says, Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley. That's right. You know it. Great book. Thank you for sharing, fam. Yes, indeed, bro. That is, listen, I won't tell y'all too much about that. I think it's 1,500 pages. I think it's either 12. I think it's like 1,200 pages or 1,300 pages. I forget, but it tell you everything. It tell you everything, how everything going, where all it gives you the game, everything. Just letting you know. Yeah, Just letting you know. It tell you everything. And who did it? Like the murder mystery, who done it? Man, it tell you everything. People, man, I tell you, fam. They pulled the wool over us. All right, Cartel says, I know Taysom is our QB, running back, fullback, assistant coach, and equipment manager, but can we please let him be a fullback? I think that's the point. A lot of it that reporters were saying that they're going to see, you know, that they've been seeing a shout out to Saints News Network, because they were really talking about this too. Back, it's not a rumor that they've been using Taysom Hill at fullback. He's been blocking. So we were thinking the suspicions about Taysom Hill being the new Kyle Juszczyk. Saints using him like that. But you'd be a fool not to use him in different roles because he's just too dynamic. You move, he's a like I said, triple M, a mismatch. What I said, a mismatch, a triple M. Well, it's actually MMN. A mismatch nightmare. That's what I was like. Triple M. It's a mismatch nightmare is what Taysom is. An MMN. Mismatch nightmare. That's what he is. Because you can move him all the way around the field. He can play wide receiver. You can split him out to wide receiver. You can make him as a offline tight end. You can play him at fullback. Hell, you can play him at halfback. And in certain plays, he can throw the ball for you. He doesn't do it very well, but you can work on it where he have one or two plays where he throws the ball. You know, you give him like two Taysom Hill. What's your two favorite plays, Taysom? I like this. I don't like that. Well, you're going to work on those plays and then do that. That's what I was saying for years when Sean Payton was doing the Taysom Hill RPO package, that you need to have, just give Taysom Hill 5 passing plays to work on and let him cycle through those 5 passing plays when you send him in there, you know, and they never did it correctly. And then now it, to a degree, it's been abandoned. Patrick says, I'm so late. He says, I'm late. So sorry about how's Rattler looking. Rattler's okay, bro. Jake Hayner's really cutting up. What's up, T Dirty? Shout out to my dog, T Dirty, man. All right, Steve says, do you think Christian Boyle will have an impact in the rotation this season? I think so, bro. There's a spot open. That Malcolm Roach spot is open. And that's what Christian Boyd is supposed to, really the vision is for Christian Boyd to step up as the reserve person in that Malcolm Roach role. Because if you look at the Saints, and we talked about this early in the stream about the Saints interior defensive line, like last year, the Saints will allow 119 yards per game. We got to clean that up. We can't let teams run on us. And a lot of that was, I ain't gonna say a lot of it, but a good deal of it was due because the offense would put the Saints on the field a little too much. They let the Saints, you know, they would be 3 and out, and the Saints defense spent too much time on the field. 30 minutes, 35 minutes a game. It was because the offense was going 3 and out. So yeah, we got to watch that. But yeah, absolutely. Christian Boyd I think he fills that Malcolm role. I think he's no disrespect to Malcolm, but I actually think that he is, I'm not going to disrespect Malcolm Roach because I think Malcolm Roach is a terrific young interior defensive lineman. But I think Christian Boyd is a natural. Like, he's really good at run stuff, and he has a degree of quickness. That's why the Saints like Christian Boyd. They were watching him and scouting him for a long time. And for him they talk about Spencer Rattler being a steal at 5. Christian Boyd was a guy, I think he was at 5. Was he at 5? I think he was at 5 too, if I'm not mistaken. But he was another dude the Saints watched fall because they thought he would go a little earlier. And he fell right there to him, and they were scouting him. They liked him a lot. They picked him up because he's a really good run stuffer, and he's fast. He's very nimble for a guy his size. He got a real good ability of also providing a push in the interior too. So he's not just a big lumbering guy that's good at run blocking, but he also gives you a pass rush component to his game. He's not super quick like a Chase Young per se, but he's a stellar guy that can give young guy that can do you that. And that's what I like about his game, because the Saints really need big guys with speed that can also provide an interior pass rush as well. Because it's just, your defense takes on a whole new dimension when you got guys like Carl Granderson and Chase Young on the edges, and guys like Bink Saunders, Nate Shepard, Brian Bresee, and Christian Boyd providing the push inside. There's nowhere to go. And most of the time, the quarterbacks aren't comfortable with that inside rush. Sometimes them guys flush those quarterbacks to the defensive ends for the sacks. So, I mean, that's something that'll be really cool to see too. Bruce says outstanding career collecting all SEC second team honors as return special after total 154 yards, 65-yard touchdown on 11 punt returns. His average is 14 punt ranks. Okay, average ranked second in SEC. Thank you, Bruce, bro. Corvatus says Tyreek Hill was the top 100. Yeah, I seen that, bro. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that tweet. Somebody sent me that tweet on there. All right, T Dirty thinks Peterman is good. He met with the scissors today, bro. Corvatus says no problem, BQ. Yeah, little Q. Yeah, man. I got to stay away from all that cuisine down there, brother. You know, I got to stay away from all that, man. You know, I got to make sure I be all right, brother. I won't be able to be doing the shows for a long time. You know, I even try to think Taysom will be our best offensive player again. All right. Okay. All right. I'm thinking it might be Elvin, but that's not a bad choice either, especially depending on how Kubiak and them use them. Julius says, Matt Rhea said Taysom is the strongest pound for pound he's worked with. I heard about the squats. Indeed. Yeah, there you go. Julius talked about it. Yeah, I heard about that. But does that really surprise us? Remember, we talked about this, like with Taysom Hill. How was he able to average 5 yards per carry last year when everybody knew? I always ask this question. When everybody knew Taysom Hill was going to get the ball, when they knew he was going to get the ball, how did he average 5 yards a carry as a runner and everybody knew he was going to get the ball? How? He will run into stacked boxes all the damn time and still average 5 yards a run, even when the other running backs were getting the runs, and they couldn't do that. But Taysom would do it, and most of the times he did it, and he turned into a runner running against a stacked box, and he didn't even have a fullback. How did he do that? See, when you have somebody like that, you got to be able to find a way to get them easier opportunities to produce. And that's what we talk about Elvin. We talk about Crystal Lobby. We talk about Rashid Shaheed. And these guys are phenomenal. But Taysom Hill's another dude. That's like 4 game-breaking presence in your offense. That's why I'm like, how we not talking about winning 10 games here? How we not going to talk about winning 10 games? If Derek Carr is healthy and he can put the ball out there, and he paying attention, and then Janoku and Clint Kubiak doing what they're supposed to do, working on his progressions, working on his timing, working on his footwork, and they doing that. And the timing, because there were timing issues all last season until the last month of the season. It was timing issues, big time timing issues. It would happen 4 to 5 times in the game, where even if it got 10 games into the season, it was still having timing issues. It was so frustrating. We were 2 months into the season and the Saints were still experiencing timing issues. Derek Carr would throw out toward the left sideline right there and Juwan cutting inside, or vice versa. Or there'll be a timing issue with another wide receiver. It was constant times, like they wasn't practicing. I'm like, how are you guys saying you're supposed to be practicing and you're not? And the timing is so bad off. And it was like 4 or 5 times a game. So that'll be big. To get the timing right so they can be on the same page. That'll be big. That'll be big. But yeah, Taysom Hill, man, is phenomenal, dude. I'm just going to be honest with you. What's happening, Colorado? How you doing, fam? Appreciate you, man. All right. Yeah. Yeah, he says he definitely thought your street car was coming out with you on that. Yeah. Mismatch. Yeah. I said double M. I said triple M. I think in the last show, I was like, hold on now. That don't sound right. It's a mismatch nightmare. Yeah, it is a mismatch nightmare. Yes, because the dude, and it's just what holds him back is the play caller's imagination. Because you use Taysom Hill as a fullback, Elvin as his running back. And then they got other talented players that are not exactly top tier like that, because they don't know. But you got guys that are versatile. Xander Horvath could be added into that because he's an athletic fullback that can catch the ball out the backfield. And he's a nasty runner. It takes several guys to bring him down. If you watch his film, man, he running out there, 2 or 3 guys need to take the guy down. If you can put these people there, that's a whole nother thing. So it all depends on the mindset of these people, man, and how they use the players. That's why I'm like, I can't see how they won't win 10 or 11 games. And you got all these guys, and if they get Carr on time and run the ball, we should have some success. We should be better than what we were last year, especially with accountability there. Rebel Raider says NFL's top 100 list disrespected a lot of players like Josh Allen in the top 20. Jared Goff being under 40 is crazy. Yeah, I don't know who picking that, man. I don't know who's doing that. It's supposed to be the players. I don't players and media people. I think it is. I don't know. Somebody getting paid or something. I don't know. Somebody might be getting paid for votes. I don't know what's going on there. Because I can see how a guy would make money on that. That's how your boy used to do it. Mel Kiper Jr. He got caught up in scandals dealing with that because Mel would get paper up out of him. Now, he got caught up. Look up Mel Kiper scandals. How Mel Kiper was using his influence to help get people that really weren't that good players talked about on these NFL teams. I mean, old game, man. Mel Kiper. You could put Mel Kiper in the Jimmy Valentine scene in the Goodfellas movie. Remember the Goodfellas movie when they were sitting down at the table? Hold on, let me see if I can pull up. One of my favorite movies, man. You can put, Goodfellas. All right. Jimmy Valentine scene. Yeah, you can put Mel Kiper in the background. Hold on, see if I can pull up. They was sitting in the restaurant. They was in there watching the guy sing. I wish I can't see it. I can't pull it up, but yeah. Restaurant scene. Yeah, they was sitting in the restaurant watching the guy sing. And I was like, man, you could put Mel Kiper. Let's see. Club scene, nightclub scene. There you go. Nightclub scene. Let me see if I can put. You put old Mel Kiper right behind him, watching the guy sing. Yeah, you can put old Mel Kiper right in that role, man. Old Mel. It'd be right back there in the scene right there when they were just chilling in the nightclub there. Y'all remember that? They went to the nightclub. And Henry was good. Yeah. If y'all ever seen it, y'all probably ain't never seen it before. If y'all seen it, y'all know what I'm talking about. The old nightclub scene. And they was watching the guy sing. You could put Mel Kiper back here somewhere. Put Mel Kiper back there somewhere, taking money to up people. I can see how he benefited from that, man. That's a slick way to make money, Mel. We got some old slicksters nowadays, man. Y'all gotta watch y'all money, man. Watch y'all money, please. All right, Bruce says Callaway's our return guy. No more Sheed. I'm good with that. He says he's too valuable to risk. This is Callaway's job to lose. Thank you, bro. I'm cool with that too, bro. I'm cool with that. What's up, Ramsey? Big spot out to you, bro. Shout out to you, my brother. Be Kind says Hill's eyes sparkle when he gets hit. I know he jumps up and down. When Taysom Hill the contact, he is like it's a adrenaline rush. Because Taysom Hill run over a dude and he get up and he start hopping like a jackrabbit. This is insane. And then DBs don't want to run. They don't want nothing to do with Taysom Hill. They don't want to because he's faster than a linebacker. Cornerbacks, DBs have times tackling them. They damn sure won't chase because Taysom's like one of the top 5 fastest dudes on your team. So and then not only that, but he's one of the top 5 strongest dudes in terms of skilled players on your team. And then the thing is, you matching him up against a linebacker who's going to run past. There's only a handful of linebackers that can keep up with him, if any. You got a few in there. Maybe Parsons could keep up with him. Some elite linebackers, some of the better ones can probably keep up with him a little bit, maybe. The cornerbacks are scared. It's difficult to tackle him because he's a stocked up running back that has wide receiver speed. Plus, he's intelligent, so he knows how to use stiff arms. He catches the ball like a wide receiver. There's the duality component where you can set up a certain play, like if you do a toss out to the left or right, and he's going to act like he's going to cut the corner, then pull up and throw a deep ball down at the Crystal Lobby. There's a lot of different things you could do with Taysom Hill. You just have to have, you just got to have an imagination. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Julius says Hulker apparently had a day. Yeah, and he's the future of the team. That's why probably Juwan Johnson might not be here next year. Juwan Johnson, like I said, the Saints are not going to pay everybody. They're not going to pay everybody. They can't pay Pete Werner. They can't pay Willie Gay. They're going to have to make a decision. Chase Young, that's why I was like, I asked y'all that question. Does the Saints re-up with Chase Young? Chase Young gives you 10 sacks. Do the Saints go and re-up with him? I do they re-up with Chase Young? If he balls out, which he probably is, he might be too expensive for the Saints, who are already cash strapped. Peyton Turner, they turned his 5th year down because they won't pay him $13 million. He's free. So you lose Chase, you lose Peyton Turner, you get who else you got there? Then you lose 2 of your 3 top linebackers, which means you might be in line to look at some of these other guys like Anthony Orji, Nephi Sewell, DeMarco Jackson, and the rest of them. They got a couple other ones that's actually pretty good. You got Paulson Adebo's is, in my opinion, the second biggest contract to get done besides Alvin Kamara. So you might have to trade Lattimore to make it work. Then you're getting older. So you still have DeMario Davis under for another year or so, another couple of years. You got Tyrann Mathieu with the same time window, Cam Jordan with the same time window, and it kind of goes down. Got to make a decision. It don't get no easier, man. T. Will says, Taysom Hill from Uptown. I don't care what anybody said. Yeah, how you run, huh? Byron says, Q, I would rather if the Saints use 2 fullbacks between Taysom and Horvath, or one of them to get AK-41, Jamal, hopefully Kendre Miller involved, only stay healthy. If not, my sleepers are Jordan or James. Okay, James Robinson and Jordan Mims. Okay, I got you, bro. Like I said, the Saints have a terrific group of runners. They really do, bro. They really do. The running back game, and a lot of people don't talk about Jordan Mims until Kendre went down and they put Jordan Mims in there. But Jordan Mims, if you go do research on him, Jordan Mims is a solid veteran, a young veteran backup linebacker who can run in, but he can run outside, inside. He got the speed. He can catch the ball out the backfield. And James Robinson's another dude. He's a little bit more powerful than Jordan Mims, but he can do similar stuff. And the Saints have both these guys, not to mention undrafted running back Jacob Caboti, who's a power back, a north-south running back with some, he's north-south runner with some aggression to him. Got a little wiggle to him, but mostly power. So if anything, the Saints know how to find running backs. I'm not too much concerned about the running back room as long as we got AK-41 and some of those capable backs. I think we'll be fine. And then of course you can mix and match. You could put Taysom in there too. The Saints could kind of throw in Rashid Shaheed if they needed to kind of be like a little slick runner every now and again. He could cycle down and then they just toss him the ball and he, angle up, hit that left tackle spot and So, I mean, they got a lot of stuff, man. All right. Anyway, let me get ready to get on the pod here, man. I appreciate y'all for timing in on this one, man. Y'all got a lot of good. Raider Rebel says, Rebel Raider says, is this Cam's? No, it's not Cam. Cam still got a couple years left on this deal, bro. He says, Taysom, Clint keeping him on the low. AK-41 is the focus. Can we sneak Taysom up on some folks? You can, but the thing is, having all your playmakers on the field at the same time, the idea, right, is to make sure every play is uniform. That takes discipline. That takes practice. Like that's the whole thing that the Saints defense was talking about. They've been having success against the Saints offense because they've been seeing how things going. And besides the defense, I expect the defense to win against the offense because the offense hadn't established itself yet. They're still trying to look uniform. Like if they all these different plays that they like to run out of similar defense, similar offensive sets, all have to appear to be uniform. They all have to look the same. That's the caveat of it. Like it's a uniform look, even though they're doing different things. Like it all looks the same, even they're running or they're passing. It all has to look the same because it's designed to get you thinking. That's why I was saying the worst thing a football player could do on the field is to turn into a thinker. In real life, we would promote that. But on the football field, when they make you think about it, that slows you down and gives the advantage to your opponent. As long as we can make them think, that's what it comes down to. Make them think. And as long as you thinking, you're not reacting. That's the idea. And the thing is, two, it's a smart offense that takes, like I said, takes a lot of discipline to implement because of the uniformity of it, how they running it, how it all supposed to looks the same from running and passing. It also forces the defense to think and look and say, hey, man, what are they doing? Are they running the pass? And we can't tell. And then the defense tips its hand, and then the offense see it, and then the offense can set up what they need to use to be able to beat it. And that's why I said San Francisco's been having a lot of success with this offense because they got the right personnel to run it. Not just the skill set players, but they got a good offensive line out there. That's something we have to establish here. We have to establish that line. All right. Mr. Shock says if Chase plays well and we want him back, Cam has to retire or take a pay cut. I think Cam ultimately will retire. I don't think there's any contract for Cam after this current contract the Saints signed, about a year or so ago? Yeah, that's it for Cam. Ain't no more. This is it. This is his last contract with the black and gold. So when these 2 years, I want to say, is up, because I think his contract mirrors the same years as DeMario's and the rest of them. Give me a second, fam. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna make sure you guys see, because I want to say, oh, that's the Pelicans. Hold on. All right, here we go. Yeah, because I want to say his contract mirrors. Yeah, here to go right here. This Cam's deal right here. Yeah, he has this year and next year. And next year is his last year. Then it goes 26, 27, 28, 29 avoided years. So he got 2 years remaining on his contract, 24 and 25. And I think that'll probably be the end. But Cam wants a Super Bowl. That's what this is about. That's why he gave his last extension right here. But you're looking at the last couple of years of the great Cam Jordan, man. We really enjoy watching his brother play for 13 years, man. It's getting close. So 2 years left for Cam. Watch this. It's the same window with DeMario, too. Look, DeMario actually has, oh, hold on. According to this, is that true? DeMario, well, yeah, he got 2 years remaining on his deal, too. He got 2024 at 1.3, and then next year at 2025, he's done too. So it's like I said, it's a window. When I often talk about the window, that's what I'm making the references of. Like you talk about Cam Jordan with 2 years remaining on his contract with 2025, and then you have Cam with 2 years, DeMario with 2 years, Cam with 2 years, and Tyrann Mathieu, I believe, is the same thing. Yeah. See, they all got 2 years remaining on their contract, 24 and 25, then they out of here. They're out of here. They gone. So you got three. These are guys that are absolute. These are Hall of Fame guys here. Hall of Fame guy. Tyrann Mathieu's going into the Hall of Fame. Demario Davis, I don't know if he go into the actual NFL Hall of Fame. He definitely going into the Saints Hall of Fame. All three of these guys are. Cam could probably end up going to the Hall of Fame eventually. Tyrann going to the big Hall of Fame, and then you have to debate on whether DeMario gets there. I don't think he gets in the big Hall of Fame, but I know he gets in the Saints Hall of Fame. But yeah, all your most noteworthy people, defensively speaking, are on 2 year deals. That's the window I talk about often when I talk about not losing to get rid of Dennis Allen, because you'll waste away Cam, DeMario, Tyrann Mathieu, and these guys are not only older players, but they're incredibly productive. These are productive, older Hall of Fame type players we have. Let me look at Taysom Hill. I think Taysom is on the same time too. Taysom is on the same time too, fam. 24, 25. He got 2 years remaining. And then 2025, his money spike up to 10. They probably reworked that. But Taysom has the same length of time. They all got their older players on the same 2 year window. Then once the 2 year window is up, all of them gone. So that's just to let y'all know, man. But like I said, Juwan Johnson is 1 year remaining on his deal. They just paid Carl Granderson. Chris Olave, I think his contract doesn't come up until, Chris Olave's deal is in 2 years. Boy, things going to look differently, man. In 2 years, the Saints will have a lot of money because a lot of that other money falls off the books. So like I said, you start looking at it from a contract standpoint, man. It looks all kind of ways, doesn't it? Yeah, here go Paulson and Debo right here. Paulson, his money due at the end of this year. He's a free agent after this year. Like I said, they're not going to be able to pay everybody, but some of these guys they're going to have to really kind of take a second look at. But yeah, there you go. Top players, 2-year window. 2-year window. All right, Richard says, Q, after moving away to Texas after Katrina, I moved back to NOLA and found you on 610. You're the best. Love you and appreciate you. Thank you, Richard, for what you do. Appreciate the love, man. I salute you, brother. Thank you. And appreciate, that great comment, man. Thank you, sir. And I take pride in representing the Who Dat Nation and keeping it real. I know it don't exactly, a lot of people, they don't, I guess, I don't know, man. I just think it's the time. It's time to kind of keep it, enough plastic stuff. We got to tell the truth, bro, on some of this stuff, man. And not kind of berate the Saints because they be berating us. They be doing dumb stuff, man, talking crazy. You ain't not qualifying and all this nonsense, man. Shut up. You don't have to be qualified to talk about a child's game that adult men are playing. You don't have to be, it's just a part of the game. Keeping it real and just being honest, bro, and just representing the family members. So thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Julie says, I think we got like $6 million to work with this year. What is that for? Well, I mean, according to Sport Track, if that's what you're speaking about right now, according to Sport Track, team cap space currently is just under $12 million. I mean, excuse me, this is over the cap. Sport Track is different. But usually over the cap is a little bit more accurate in terms of the cap monies. A lot of similar information, but a lot of people would prefer over the cap a little ahead of Sport Track, and I get that because they get the figures a little faster. But according to the team space right now, it's saying the Saints have roughly just under $12 million in salary cap space. He says the $6 million crack pipe for me. At some point, they're going to have to address the Alvin Kamara contract situation, and then at some point later on in the year, we're going to have to really kind of delve into the situation with the Saints. And I guess that's a conversation for a later date. We talk about who the Saints possibly could be signing and, who they're keeping, what was, looking into the stuff with the kids. Cause I can show you right here how it looks next year. This is estimation of what the Saints are going to be in the red. Look at this. This is 2025. Like this is 2024. You're in the black by almost 12 million. In 2025, according to the contracts, look, this is red. You're in the red again at almost $92 million, 91.6. And of course, the cap will go up again. And perhaps a lot of people anticipate it might be another 40 million. It'll drop the Saints number down to maybe 50 or 60 million in the red. You have to work down, but then you see how it changed. Then 26, when you get here with 25, and remember, 25 is a final year of DeMario, final year of Cam, final year of Tyron, final year of Taysom, final year of all these guys, right? In 2025. Estimated 9.6. If the cap go up 30-40 million, that'll knock off some money right there. Put the Saints at roughly 50-something million dollars over the cap, 50-60 million in the red for 25. And then 26, when everybody's gone, look where the cap goes. It goes 25.4. And then in 27, it goes up. It spikes to 224.2. So you'd be looking good in 2027. Only problem is you'll be probably the worst team in the NFL if you got that kind of money. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to them shows. All right, but anyway, that's just a little peek at the future, man. But hey, man, let's get a couple more, then I'm gone. Ram says, hey, Q, do you think the Saints are looking at Justin Simmons? No, I don't think so, bro. I don't think the Saints looking at Justin Simmons because I think the Saints really need to focus their resources on getting Alvin Kamara's contract done. And then after that, later on, maybe Paulson and Debo, getting his stuff worked on. I think Justin Simmons is kind of out of our price range. If you see how the Saints are currently moving, like even when they bringing in wide receivers, these are cheap guys. No disrespect to Puka's brother, and I mean his name is Samson, and Marquez Callaway, but I promise you those contracts weren't expensive. The guys that I just covered, the tight ends that they just signed, I guarantee those guys are, those contracts were extremely inexpensive. The Saints are not spending a lot of money on people they bringing in here. And that's for a reason. Like Justin Simmons likes money. He ain't gonna make what he was making last year, but even if what he was making, like 11, something like that, 11, it was double digits. But even if you chop that in half, that's still not what the Saints are going to pay for Simmons. And they like what Jonathan Abrams is doing for what? Abrams, they like what Abrams is doing, and they got, they like what Abrams is doing. It's no real need to bring him in here unless injuries happen. And I still say the Saints would go a little cheaper. Let me see. Where's Jonathan Abrams' contract at? Because he don't make a lot of money either. The Saints got him on a 1-year deal. Where's Jonathan Abrams at? Yeah, they got him on. Here you go. Jonathan Abrams right here. Yeah. Yeah, he got a 1-year deal. Base salary 1.1. Cheap contract for him. You got a prorated bonus of 80 G's and a roster bonus of 87 G's, 87.5. And you see all very cheap, a 1.125. Very cheap contract. Jonathan Abrams, man. I mean, Justin Simmons is who you're talking about. A lot of people like Justin Simmons. I just don't see that happen, man. Right here. He a good safety, man, but he don't work for cheap. Look at his numbers. His numbers here. That's $46 million he made collectively. In 2023, he was averaging, look, when he in 2023, he was making $14.4 million a season. That's why I'd be saying no. And even if you sliced it in half and he said, you know what? I like what y'all doing, man. I'll take $7 million. The Saints still can't give him that, man. They got Jonathan Abrams making $1.1 million, fam. You get what I'm saying here? Like, look, in 2022, he made 15.1, but he had the stats to break it up. This dude was one of the best safeties in the game, right? He had 20 and 22 is 15.1. Then in 23, it drops to 14.4, but still very expensive. And that's what I was saying. There's no way that Justin Simmons is a good safety. He's not going to get what he used to make, but at the same time, look, his career average, right, 7.7 million. Even if he say I'll take that, or even if he say I'll take 6 million or 5 million, the Saints ain't going to give him that. Even if he say I get a Saints listen, I'll take a deal from you guys for $5 million. The Saints are not going. They're not going to pay Justin Simmons $5 million. I mean, no. He got to come all the way down to meet where the Saints is if they're going to be interested or be motivated to go and get him. So, I mean, with Jonathan Abrams at 1.1 million, I ain't even pull up Jordan Howden. They're not really making that kind of bread. Plus the Saints trying to rework deals, man. I don't see it, Ramsey. Thank you, bro, for your question, man. All right, Beacon says Loomis still kicking the can down the road. Well, he can't. Like you see, like I said, like I showed you guys. I showed you what's happening over the future. There's no guesswork here. These are the numbers. These are the numbers going into the future. The ones I just showed you. Well, he going to be in the red next year about 50, 60 million. That's why he's not going. That's why you ain't going to see all this stuff happen with people getting signed and all this other stuff. He told you that when the season started, they were going to be more conservative. He told you that. And he said over the next 2 years, because the 2 years, what he's saying 2 years for is because that's the length of time that DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill all fall off the books. Now you still going to have some voided money, but that don't quite hit the same. It'll still be on there. And then a lot of that money falls off in 2027. That's when it spikes up to like $200-something million. But then again, you won't see that kind of spike because the Saints will be signing people along the way. So that number will eventually drop. And then you got to factor in the fact that the salary cap increases as it goes forward too. So, I mean, that's the numbers right there. That's why I was saying when people ask me about Justin Simmons, that's my best way of explaining it to you, that he likes money. And then you got a guy playing right now making 1.1. That man used to making $7 million average. So there you go, baby. All right. Julius said he's friends with a few players and he out to prove something. Maybe win a Super Bowl in a dome. I don't know unless you gonna pay him, brother. All right. Ram says Q. What in the world is black? Oh yeah, I don't. Chilling, man. I gotta hit my dog up, man. He was working on something, man. Working on a project, I think, that I heard him. I'm gonna have to call him and see how he doing, man. I've been talking to him for a while. You know how life happens. You know, that's pretty much what happened with me. I'm gonna have to check on him. But it's football season, so we'll be probably hitting him up too. What's up, Poppy 504? Shout out to you, fam. Yeah, you'll be hearing from him soon, man. It's football season, bro. English says the football, hold on to it. Don't make dumb penalties. Formula will win a lot of games. Yes, indeed. Yeah. All right. So anyway, with that being said, let me get on out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all, man. Talking to y'all tonight, man, about some football, fam. Listen, if you like the show and you want to support the show, man, you can feel free to check out and just join the channel, man. I think the join buttons is right below the video section. You can hit the join button, or you can simply go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. The links are in the description section below. You can also check out whothatdaily.com, which is our own sports website. Well, all our content goes covering basketball, football, boxing, college football, that kind of stuff. And we got writers, our own writers over there that contribute, man. And it's just popping, man. So if you want to support the channel, support the platform, you can look at the links in the description section below to help keep the movement strong, man. That's what we are doing, representing, man. We've been doing this for a long time, fam. Getting ready to go into another season of Saints football, man. We all are elated and happy that football is back, man. And the Saints, with Dennis Allen in his third year here, is facing all the smoke. We got a talented unit. We make a lot of change happen, a lot of questions. It's going to be fun just spending time with you guys and going over all of this stuff, man, and ironing it out, man, to see how all this stuff is going to work. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Appreciate y'all for being here, man. We're going to be back for some of our other family members, man. We're going to be returning for some more stuff. It's a Saints practice going on tomorrow. We'll be back to cover the press conference live. We'll have whatever latest news and observations from Saints training camp day number 9. Tomorrow for my Pelican post-game report, people, PPR in the morning will be there as well. And then later on Saturday night, Terrence Bud Crawford fights Matt Morrall for his belt. And they got several other really interesting fights, man. If I'm not too tired, man, I'm really going to be calling that fight, man. Terrence Crawford is one of my favorite fighters, man. I got a bunch of people that I like, but he's one of the top ones right there. But we'll be looking at Ring Kings boxing tonight, tomorrow night. Is it tonight? Well, 30 minutes, it'll be Saturday. So my time frame. But anyway, with that being said, man, y'all just keep it up and listen, man. Y'all have a good weekend, man. And I would thank you, Rebel Raider, man. Appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the show tomorrow, man. We'll talk some more black and gold. Much love and who that to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.